Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor Artoo. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's going. I'm glad to be here this evening. Sure,
I am
we've got some
glad-
interesting things to talk about. I've got a nice seltzer here to keep me company.
Hitting the seltzer hard today, aren't you, Professor?
That's me, baby. Actually, this was funny. They had some basically some bubbly at Target that's supposed to taste like bomb pops, like a melted bomb pop.
Was it like bubbly as in champagne?
No, bubbly, the seltzer,
the thing.
the water brand. Yeah,
Okay. It sounded more interesting. Now you're just saying the
sparkling water. Just
sparkling water. So was it any good?
It's all right. Yeah, it does. I admit it does kind of taste like a melted bomb pop. It's got they're all the flavors in there. The blue raspberry and cherry and whatever. Yeah.
Well, Walmart and Bubbly could only hope for such an enthusiastic spokesperson.
Indeed, yes, I'm sure.
If they were looking for somebody to really promote their brand, I think it would be you.
Yes.
He didn't hate it.
I tried your drink and it was acceptable.
Exactly.
It didn't make me rich. Congratulations.
Well, I guess let me try to think for a second. We have a lot going on. Tell a joke in the meantime, because I don't know that I posted. I usually post when we do a stream. I didn't post.
Well, the joke is, of course, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which we will get to. We will get to talk about that a little bit later. But oh boy,
listen,
what an absolute bomb at the theaters, right?
The thing is, people can get upset all they want because there was pushback to my review that I said that I didn't enjoy the movie. Now, I can understand. And I really thought about it. I can understand why some people enjoyed the movie. It really, I think, depended on what your expectations were. I just wanted something that wasn't as goofy and dumb as it was. People that say, "Oh, it's goofy and dumb like the cartoon," I would always argue that a Saturday morning cartoon was going to be a little more goofy and dumb than a live action movie. But the live action movie didn't have to be A, goofy and dumb. Two, if you actually watch an old episode of He-Man, you could say that there's goofy and dumb things there, but the part where he feels like more heroic and more confident, whether he's Adam or He-Man, and then there's a more clear story about doing something positive, doing something good, and not being such a pushover. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't. You could tell me whatever you want, but in this movie, I didn't feel like the character that we saw when he was Adam. I didn't feel like he acted like he was Adam, and when he was He-Man, he didn't seem to act like He-Man either. That's in my opinion. I mean, I think that it really matters how much people like things like Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy, and if they wanted to see He-Man kind of being put in that category with a lot of kind of self-parody and MCU humor, if people were looking for that and they enjoyed that, I can't hate on them for that. You know what I'm saying? It's fine.
Yeah.
If that's what they liked and that's what they were looking for, it's fine. I just wasn't looking for that. And I suspect that the more people that actually, and it's not 100%, but the more people that actually watched this as kids and enjoyed the more heroic side, the more doing good, the more wholesome side, I feel like that was missing from the movie, because when you make a mockery of it all the time, when you make it almost like a parody of itself, it loses that element of it. And for me, I think that was the main takeaway. But I'm not upset if people enjoyed it.
No. I mean, people enjoyed it. Whatever. As I said on another stream the other day, man, there have been plenty of movies that I have enjoyed that other people would say are objectively crap, and that's fine. I accept that, right? There are movies. There's humor, of course. When you want to talk about this being funny, you want to talk about the humor of it. Humor is always subjective, right? It works for some people, it doesn't work for other people, and I think there's for some of us it just didn't work. Other people, it worked for them. It was funny, right? And that's fine. But yeah. not only I mean, maybe we can come back after you've got your post done. We can talk some more about He-Man and stuff later on. But
Oh, we will. We will.
the bigger joke, and it's really kind of a sad one, is of course Mandalorian and Grogu falling to 5th place after just a couple of weeks in the theaters, and still having not broken $300 million worldwide in the
It's
box
worse.
office.
It's basically, we thought between 400 and 500. Istofobo said he thought it was like 375, or initially said something along those lines.
Yeah.
This is now like, if this was the Price is Right, no pun intended, people that chose really low are still not close to where it seems to be landing.
No, it is flattening out rapidly. I mean, they had, for the third weekend, the first weekend is obviously, when a lot of these movies is when the fans go to see stuff. The second weekend is really where the proof is in the pudding. Does it have any legs? And it dropped nearly 70% in that second weekend. And then in the third weekend, everyone said, "Oh, it's gonna rally, it's gonna recover. People are going to be going to see it this next week because discounts, or kids are out of school, whatever. Oh, it's gonna." And a lot of times, really, you'll get that 70% drop, but then the weeks after that will be much less of a drop. There'll be 30%, 40% drops. I mean, obviously, there's already been a huge drop, and so the drops get a little bit smaller, but not this time. The third weekend, the total drop was somewhere around the 65% drop in that third weekend. That's a disaster, an absolute disaster. This film is now coming in, like it or not. And I know that there's people out there who enjoyed this film. It certainly wasn't me. But again, I don't hate The Mandalorian and Grogu, but there's nothing about it to be excited about. It's almost a nothing burger. There's just, like, essentially nothing happens. And so it's this just, I had back and forth with somebody on X, in that second weekend, talking about how it was, collapsing in the theaters, and somebody was saying, well, I said this movie, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie. It's not a movie where anything happens. There's nothing that changes. There's no stakes. There's nothing about this movie that you can say, like, you must see it. It is absolutely essential as part of the Star Wars story, Star Wars canon, because nothing really changes from the beginning to the end. And somebody kept arguing with me saying, well, don't they, I don't understand why you think they don't deserve to have a safe movie now and then. I said, a safe movie? What the hell are you talking about? Why do you think that any franchise is entitled to a safe movie? And we're all just supposed to still go out and pay for it? It's still supposed to make $1 billion at the box office because they played it. Well, we need to let them have a safe movie so that they can learn what the audience wants. No, guess what? Guess who didn't get a safe movie? The people who made Obsession.
Right.
They didn't need 2 or 3 tries to figure out what the audience wanted. They had a vision. They had an idea. They put together a movie. They put together a script. They got actors. They got all of the other people there, and they created box office dynamite right out of the bat.
They're making it's one of the most profitable movies of all time
in history. Yeah,
in history. And the thing is, whether you like the genre or not, whether you think that this is the best movie you've seen or not, there's one thing that when I sat in a theater, which was packed, by the way, when I went to see it, based on word of mouth, packed theater of people different ages watching this movie. When I sat and watched it, and I said to myself, these guys took $750,000 in the year 2026 and made a movie that doesn't feel like, oh, it's not a real movie. It's not one of those also found footage. I've told you before that, one of the things that I didn't prefer about Chris Stuckman's movie, and I never like it. I always feel like the found footage thing is a cheat. People that are just like, oh, it's like a security camera and you'll look at it for 2 hours. No, I won't. You know what I mean? You can go look at the security camera for 2 hours. I am not sitting through that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't buy it. I don't like it. And I can tell that I'm being bamboozled with some guy that had like $5, and now he's making money off of me, and I don't want to give him that money. I don't want to even encourage that. I don't remember which one is the one that has the security cameras. There's some, I can't even remember the name of it.
Uh,
There's a shitty one. It was made like for $5 that he put security cameras and
yeah,
made like a
yeah.
gazillion
It's
dollars.
super.
Until
No.
today, that annoys me. I can't even remember the stupid name of it. There's like a dumb name that goes along with it, and I can't stand it. So basically,
Yeah, I
he
know
what
which one you're talking about, but yeah,
he,
it's again not my genre. I really
no,
couldn't care
and
less.
Chris Stuckman, what he did was, and nothing personal. What he did was half his movie. It looked like Dateline. You know what I mean? It was like somebody interviewing people that were like victims, and just like gradually building this thing. I thought it was executed, especially that first half, really poorly. And the thing is that the people that were in this movie, their acting, I don't even remember who was in the movie. Their acting didn't even convince me that they're doing the Dateline. It looked like you and I were doing a Dateline. Actually, if
Yeah.
you and I were doing a Dateline, I think we'd do a better job. At least, there would be something compelling about it. It was like the most generic, boring Dateline thing for like half a movie because that was cheap. You know what I mean? Just put a camera and like back and forth over the shoulder with two people talking. Like, oh, when she disappeared, how did you feel? Oh, I was very sad. It's like for half a movie, just this shit. And then at the end, there's like something where the lady is trying to find the girl or whatever. So basically, you only have like 40 minutes of an actual movie. And the only time that something mildly interesting happens, and maybe is like 20 minutes of the movie. And I will say that this thing with the $750,000, less than what Stuckman had, less than what Markiplier had, much less than what this Backrooms has that people are excited about, and I'm not as excited about. This guy took $750,000 and made a legitimate movie. Like
Hmm.
if you told me it cost more than 750,000, I'd believe it. Like, if there were, like, more known stars in it and you would have said that it costs, like, more, I probably would have believed it. Like, the cinematography is good, there's a steady hand, the screenplay does whatever it's supposed to do, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and regardless, even you don't love the genre, but I think and it's not that I only love horror or stuff like that, I'm okay with it, but it's not like I like sci-fi probably more, action probably more, but, I acknowledge that the guy did a fantastic job. I really felt that way. I walked out and I'm like, man, this guy had so little to work with. So really, I give him real props.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what I want to see, like in Hollywood. I want to see people taking $750,000 and filling up movie theaters because that's something of the magic that used to be in cinema. Sometimes I'll tell you what, years ago, this is a weird story, and I probably will regret even telling it because it's probably dumb. But years ago, when I was a kid, uh, I don't remember the circumstances of this. I saw like a screening that we were invited to of a movie, and then it was like really not common like today. You had to
Hmm.
know somebody that was involved in the making of that movie. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
it's not
Yeah.
like today where there's all this internet stuff and sweepstakes or whatever. We were invited to a movie screening of a movie that, like, it was considered a small movie, and I think at the time, I'm not even sure it had a distributor in the US. Okay, it was called The Gods Must Be Crazy. Do you remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
So I saw it basically probably, I want to say a year or more before it ever came out in the theater. Like, I saw it in some early stage in some strange screening, and I was very young, so I don't even remember the circumstances of how and why I got there. Obviously, it wasn't me. Somebody, took me to that. But we were somehow given access to see this, like, a year and a half in advance. I think it didn't even have a distributor. I don't know the context, have no idea. I just remember being there and seeing it. And they were telling us that this is a very low budget movie and that, it may not find an audience and whatever. And I remember all of that. And suddenly, like a year and something later, back then things moved very slowly. It did find a distributor. It ended up making a lot of money. And it was a cheap movie to make. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is I think that back in the day in the 70s and the 80s, maybe at some point in the 90s, there were people that were willing to take more risks, like you say, like, okay, I'm making my dream movie. I have $1 million. I'm making my dream movie. Even Kevin Smith, who ruined He-Man with his own thing and I don't have anything good to say about him today. When he made Clerks, that was the spirit. You know, he was like, I'm going to make this movie. I'm so passionate about it. And we used to have more of that kind of stuff. Even the Coen brothers, they started with like Blood Simple. They really redefined what indies could be. And you had a lot of things like that. And we don't see that because Hollywood has become so kind of annoying that all they thought they could do is let's buy IPs and let's spend hundreds of millions of dollars and we want a blockbuster. And it's such a lazy, shitty way to do business. Not only is it lazy and shitty and just coasting on cruise control without generating anything new, like the Disney model, it's also that they also took it then and made it like a vehicle for propaganda. Like in the history of business, it's rare to find how greedy and annoying people are in their field as much as Hollywood have been over the past 10 years. And I think a lot of people, maybe I saw Gary of Nerdrotic, he posted something that is kind of interesting that now YouTubers, the very people that Disney considered like, garbage, they're making movies and putting them to shame at the box office. And I answered him that it's something of like poetic justice that's what's happening now. It's
Mhm.
I didn't wish anything good or bad to happen to anybody, but to say that they don't kind of deserve it would be a lie.
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
Sofogo
Um,
says it took Kevin Smith a year to find distributor for Clerks. I believe
yeah.
that. That's the kind of thing that used to happen back in the day. Like you'd work hard. You would have people that are like, I want to make this movie no matter what. I have so little money. I have to make this movie. And there was something about that spirit that we don't get anymore. You'd think with the kind of access people have these days to all these tools online, to all this stuff at home, you would think that we'd be getting so many more options of these kind of more indie films, and we haven't been getting it until now. I really feel that, and I hope this continues. I really, really hope this continues because this is the year 2026 has felt like a turning point where something is happening. Though those franchises are like falling apart, and a younger crowd. I had no faith in younger people. You know what I mean? Like at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the fact that a guy in his 20 and a guy that's 26 made movies that are interesting and compelling audiences to go see them and do something different and interesting. I really, really appreciate that. In the case of the Parsons guy with Pack Rooms, I will say that I'm not saying he doesn't have raw talent. And I said this in a few groups that I'm in. I appreciate his raw talent. There's a certain atmosphere he creates in the movie, which I like. There's things about the movie which, I could pinpoint that I like about it, about the Backrooms movie. But I did feel that overall the storytelling and the screenplay wasn't strong enough. And I feel like the kid that's making it, who's 20 years old, Hollywood, all those kind of media, everybody around him that's now boosting his ego and telling him he's the best 20-year-old that ever lived, I think that he needs to still hone in his craft. You know what I mean? He
Oh yeah.
still has something to learn, and I don't think even if his movie did make money and maybe compared to Hollywood slop, it feels like more authentic or more interesting to people. He has a way to go. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I think even when you get someone young, they create a film that's as big as Obsession. They've still got things to learn, right? They were successful once, but doing that again, creating that success a second time is going to be 10 times harder, right? Because there's going to be huge expectations on him. The whole thing with what we saw with the Backrooms movie. He's been doing that for a long time, and I think maybe fell back a little bit too much on what he had already done, and instead of trying something new. Yeah, I think everyone's got lessons to learn, right? And anyone who stops learning, stops growing, they might as well be dead, frankly. And that's why I think a lot of the studio producers and executives that we have now might as well pack it up and leave because they have no new ideas. They're not willing to try anything new. They're massively risk averse because they want to go out and make these blockbusters instead of going out and making a $5 million movie that brings in $40,000 or $40 million. They're not happy with that, right? They think that every movie that their studio puts out has to be a blockbuster, so they want to put 200 million in it, and they think they're going to make $1 billion. And I think this is the year when they're all going to start to learn that lesson. Either that, or their studios are going to collapse because If they cannot figure this out, that a He-Man movie should never have had a nearly or 200 million or more budget after you pull in all the marketing and everything like that, should never have cost that much. They should have spent half that, if not a third of that, on a He-Man movie because the audience isn't going to be there. This was not going to be Barbie 2. Right? It was not going to get $1.5 billion at the theater. It never was going to, especially when you're making a He-Man movie and it's all made by women, right? it wasn't going to happen. They've got to start going back to making these mid-budget, low budget films. You go back to other movies like recently, obviously we got Godzilla -1, right? Very limited budget. Some people estimated at 15 million. The director said he wishes he had 15 million. So it sounds like he didn't even quite have that, but like it was a hit. It performed really well. It got multiple showings, came back to the theater for a black and white version, right? It did extremely well because
I think
there was an impassioned group of people behind it. They worked diligently to make sure they were putting out the best product they could. They made a really great product for the low budget and that tiny team that they had. They made something great. And we need to see more of that. We've got to see more of those films. And if it has to come from indies, if it has to come from YouTubers, then I guess that's where it's going to come from. But I think this is going to be this summer, maybe even this year, that we're going to see lots of these smaller movies be very, very successful. And we're going to see a bunch of these big movies flop hard. And trust me, that is not going to be any more evident than when we get Doomsday at the end of the year, because that movie is going to be an absolute failure at the box office. They are not going to break $500 million on that movie.
I'm interested in seeing what happens. I think that they'll break 500 million, but if they're spending the kind of money they're spending where they need at least each movie to make, let's say $1.25 billion just to break even, they're not going to break even. So I don't know. I tend to think, and I could be wrong, towards the release, maybe we'll know more. I think just based on brand recognition, even if it's member berries and for old time's sakes, I think that the thing has a chance of getting more than 500 million.
Yeah, maybe they don't. Maybe they may break 500. Maybe they don't break 600. It's going to perform about the same as Superman. Let's say that. It's going to 615, something like that. That's as far as it's going to go. The audience for superhero films is gone. And there are going to be people who are going to flood back to the theaters because it's RDJ, and then it's going to get massively terrible word of mouth after weekend one, and no one's going to bother. It's going to look, the box office is going to look like it did for Grogu.
I think I don't think it's going to do as bad as Grogu because
not
RDJ,
as bad as Grogu, but
RDJ
the second weekend is going to have a 60% collapse in the second weekend. There's going to be huge people pouring in to see it in the first weekend, and then it's going to collapse after that.
You may be right, but I would think that a movie like that, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking more 700 to 800. I mean, if it's actually a good movie, all bets are off. If you go in,
if it's a good movie, all bets are off. But I don't think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a disaster.
If you walk in and it's genuinely amazing, then all bets are off. But if, let's say, it's just very kind of mediocre, which is what I think that it'll ultimately end up being, then I'm thinking 700 to 800. I could be wrong, but
yeah. I think it's going to be a bait and switch. I think people are going to go in there to see RDJ. They're thinking they're going to get back all the heroes that they loved. They're going to see them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes on screen at most. A bunch of them are going to get killed off before the end of the film. People are going to be pissed. They're going to be angry at how the characters were treated. They're only going to get a handful of minutes with Doom and RDJ at all in the film, and I think that a lot of people are going to be angry.
Well, I'm curious to see what happens.
Yep.
But what I wanted to say was, and now I forgot. What were you talking about before this thing? How did we get here? There was something else.
We were going. You were doing your post, so I was talking about Grogu.
I know what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I wanted to agree with you that over the past maybe 5 years, Godzilla minus one, in terms of creating a blockbuster movie with like nothing, that's the most impressive I've seen. That is like, um, considering what budget they had and what they put out, is the most impressing one I think that I've seen in years. You know what I mean? Like if Hollywood were trying to make the exact same movie, that movie, even if you look at the exact same thing, same shots, same cinematography, same effects, same everything, 150 million dollars. The fact that this guy made it for $12 million is insanity, in my opinion, and shows, really puts to shame everything that's happening in Hollywood, I think.
Yeah, that one, if I remember, they made it. It was about 7x the spend on that movie that they made back in the theaters. And again, that's not massive theater numbers. They didn't get $1 billion worth of people coming to the theaters to see it, but it didn't cost so much that it had to make $1 billion. It cost 12, $15 million, something like that. And so, yeah, after the first 50 million, it was all profit. Every bit of it after that.
Even I think less, but yeah, it totally profit. And the other thing is, that is a movie that I think later did well on streaming, and rightfully so. Good word of mouth later. It's exactly what you want. Spending 12 million and making the kind of money they made all across the board. When James Gunn's Superman came out, I had people arguing with me. Oh, but when it went to streaming, it broke even. Blah 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 blah. That's not a win. That's not a win for something like Superman. They don't put in hundreds of millions of dollars expecting to maybe at some point later in streaming maybe to break even because they flopped at the box office. They aren't. That's not what they expected when they made that movie. And the fact that something like a Godzilla minus one and all these other also movies that we're talking about that are already in the theater making good money and then make the streaming, that's a good business model. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy that made Obsession, this thing is making a killing. When it comes to the streaming, it's going to make another killing. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to make money here and there, not just in one place, so you can save face.
Yep.
Same thing with Backrooms. I mean, again, Backrooms I think is inferior to Obsession on a number of different levels,
It
and
definitely is.
and it has $10 million or something of a budget. So I can't also cut it the slack that I would cut Obsession, which I don't even need to cut slack.
No.
So I guess what I'm saying is that even that which I think is flawed, still a good business model, already making money, gonna go to streaming, gonna make more money. That should be the business model that people are going for. And by the way, uh, if we're already talking about movies that are small and interesting and pretty good, I saw a few of them this year, and I saw an interesting movie the other day. Uh, I'm trying to think. There was recently I saw a movie called Tuner, which I thought was I thought it was a good movie. The thing that's kind of a shame for me is when you don't have the kind of YouTuber or the kind of horror buzz or whatever it is, and these are these kind of smaller movies, they barely get any marketing, and that's why most people don't even know about them, don't see them or whatever. For starters, this year I saw a movie called Normal, which was it wasn't a 5 million, like it wasn't a $2 million movie, but I can't imagine that it cost more than like $20 million to make. It probably cost less. It was with Bob Odenkirk, and it had him like sheriff in some fishy town, and
Yeah.
I thought the movie was very. Again, it's not the best movie in the world. It's not a movie that you're going to give 70 awards to. It's not the best thing that ever happened. But as a popcorn movie, sitting in the theater for $20 million, I thought that they made quite a. I like the fact that it wasn't like $5 gazillion, and they made a good, interesting movie that was kind of quirky and fun for whatever it is, using just good actors and a competent production. And I was really encouraging of that movie, but they barely did any marketing for it. I feel like also you have these kind of Lionsgates or whoever distributes these, that what they do is that they in advance already get all their money for the budget. Between the distributors, the Netflix deals, the streamers, they already get all their money, so they're not losing anything. And I think that once they get that, they also don't make much of an effort in the theatrical release, and that's kind of a bummer for me. I understand. I guess you spend like 5, 10, $20 million on a movie. You don't want to spend $100 million marketing it. You know what I'm saying? I understand
Hmm.
that, but at the same time, if you don't market it at all and nobody knows about it, I feel like sometimes these movies don't get enough spotlight. So that Normal thing, it wasn't the best movie, but I enjoyed it, and I thought it was better than what it did. It was like a limited release or whatever it is. Kind of enjoyed it. There was the movie Tuner, which also I think like five people saw. really really decent little indie movie that had like some action and heist or whatever it is. Really enjoyed it, and also, you know, don't really hear about it. Probably 3 people went to see it. Unfortunately, it'll probably do okay on streaming later. So this week I saw a movie called Power Ballad. Did you
Yeah,
hear of this?
this is one with Paul Rudd, right?
Yes. No. Let me see
I
if
haven't
I
really
can.
heard anything about it. I think I remember seeing a trailer for it at one point. It's about a stolen song, something like that.
So the thing is that you know, I saw a trailer for it, and honestly, the trailer I wasn't 100% sure. Usually, I'm really good to telling you based on a trailer if something's going to be good or not. I was worried that this would be too kind of sappy or something, or something about it. And I feel bad because I think that I like Paul Rudd, and I think he's capable of doing, you know, a lot of different things as an actor. He's actually pretty versatile, and I like him. Somehow seeing Jonas probably unfortunately wasn't like a selling point for me. I'm like, oh, like he's going to be in this movie. And I was hesitant. I mean, I wanted to see it just out of curiosity. One of the main reasons that I really wanted to see it is that, and I don't have the Willem Dafoe meme here, but I'm something of a musician myself. So the idea, and I saw in the trailer that Paul Rudd is playing like an aging musician that at some time early in his career seemed to be on the right path, but then, you know, wasn't on the right path anymore. And this other guy, you know, it's kind of a long story, and I won't spoil everything, but I'll talk about it a little. Sort of steals something of his, and it becomes like a wildly successful song. When I saw the trailer, I thought to myself, is this enough for a movie? Is this going to be some weird thing? Is it going to be sappy? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about it. But you know what? This movie was made for like $7 million or something, and most of it was filmed in Ireland. And I watched the movie. I still hoped, because it's not that the trailer looked awful. It's just that I wasn't sure. You know, it didn't completely sell me. Maybe there was a better way to do this trailer. But in any case, I went to see the movie, and I'll give you a little bit of whatever I can talk about it, but I won't spoil everything. So basically, it starts off. Paul Rudd is like a wedding singer, and he lives in Ireland. He's American, and he lives in Ireland because, you know, back in the 90s or whenever it was, or whatever decade they mean, they show like old footage of him, that back in the day he was like in a band, and he was even signed with some record label, and it looked like he was touring and good things were happening. But I guess he toured and he stopped at Ireland, met a lady, and she got, you know, pregnant, and then she had a baby, and he ended up saying like, you know, he basically ultimately decided that more important to him was to be like a father and a husband, and kind of put the music aside, which ended up sort of derailing his professional ambitions, but leaving him, you know, there as sort of this wedding singer and all this other stuff. So we see kind of his life and what he does. And then one time, like there's one of those kind of castles, or I don't know what, somebody's having a wedding. I don't know if it's a castle, but you know what I mean? Some site where somewhere, maybe some more rich people, they're having a wedding,
Sure.
and he comes, he performs with his band, and Nick Jonas, who plays a guy that like was in a boy band but trying to like build himself as a more credible musician now. Not unlike what he's like in real life, but in any case, so he arrives at this party, but he's like, he has a lot of social media followers, whatever. They end up like, you know, he gets on stage, performs like spontaneously a song with him. They kind of hit it off. They're cool. And you know, after this is all really at the beginning of the movie, so I'm not spoiling. So after this whole thing, they hang out and they're jamming, and like they're talking about their music. He's kind of giving him guidance on his song. He's talking about his music. They form like this nice kind of bond, or whatever it is you want to call it, musical bond. Not like it's not like one of those rainbow things. You know what I mean?
Well, one of those kind of bonds. Yeah.
Not kind of not the rainbow thing. There's just a bond, like they're you know, music, and they're like with guitars and playing music. The other guy's recording some stuff. In any case, it seems like and they're also drinking a lot and doing a lot of other stuff that, like, you know, that really like it becomes like a night of them doing all this musical stuff, and
And bonding as musicians do,
bonding as
over
musicians.
music and substances.
Yes, that's pretty
Yes.
much what happens.
Yes.
And what happens is the guy is like happy, he goes on with his life. About like, you know, 6 months later, he's in some shopping center, you know, in Ireland, and he hears like this song on the radio. And again, if you watch the trailer, probably everything I've said, you could just see it there. So
Yeah,
it's not.
this is all in
This is
the
all
trailer, because
spoilers, so
I
this is
remember this.
really
Yeah.
early on in the movie. So basically, he hears the song, and it's his song, and or at least a lot of the things that he worked on that he was showing the other guy. And now it becomes like, how can he prove that this was his song, which also becomes complicated. How the people around him behave, and he starts getting like, go a little bit going off the deep end. Not like, we're not talking the shining deep end here, but I'm saying like he starts like drinking. He's not too cool, you know what I mean? He's really frustrated, and he feels like something was taken from him. He doesn't get the recognition. He's not getting any money for it. Meanwhile, this other guy is like, now he's number one, and everybody's saying how great he is, and like there was such a great ballad or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
it becomes kind of, you see the two situations of how this guy is doing, how this guy is doing. Although Paul Rudd is the undeniable star of the movie, which is the way it should be. I would say that Paul Rudd, for people that don't know, yeah, I think he started off in his youth also a musician, and he does actually play instruments and sing. But I'd say that he's more of an actor that's also a musician. Whereas like Nick Jonas, I would say, is more of at least a singer. I don't know if to say musician, that may be a really big word there, but a big title to give him. But he's a singer at least. He has that kind of poppy, smooth voice. It's not a voice that I enjoy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like that kind of. It sounds the kind of smooth voice that AI would now generate. If you know what I mean.
Hmm.
AI, unless you feed it my voice, won't be able to generate it because I sound like such a weirdo that it couldn't pull it off. But like in Nick Jonas's case, I could just like do like a conveyor belt. I could just prompt his voice. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I take Nick Jonas's voice and I remove it and I put Justin Timberlake's voice or Justin Bieber, whatever it is, you probably wouldn't know the difference. You know what I mean? Like I'd play the song for you, you probably wouldn't know which is which.
It could be because in a lot of their recordings, they're being heavily manipulated using, auto tune and stuff too. But yeah,
Right, but
I
I'm
know
saying
what you mean.
I'm saying that like maybe Justin Timberlake is a little more character than the other two, but honestly, but all three of them probably like wouldn't really matter because they're the same. They came off of the same conveyor belt, if you know what I'm
Yep.
trying to say. Or I could show you a
Agreed.
few other cases like that you probably there are singers like that you probably couldn't tell the difference between them. Okay, I'll give you another thing. If you take like some people that came from like One Direction or some of the Jonas Brothers, and I play you songs from this and this, you may not know the difference.
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of the Jonas Brothers. This is somebody from One Direction. It's gonna sound like the same. Sorry, Sean. The same shit to you. You know what I mean? So, in any case, he's in this movie. Uh, he is more of a singer that also is required to do some acting here. I think it's good that like they give him the scenes that he needs to be in. And I think he does them fine, but it's not like on his shoulders. The acting shoulders here are Paul Rudd, and throughout the movie, he basically goes through a whole process, and it comes to some kind of conclusion at the end. While watching this movie, there were different parts that I thought to myself, "Oh, this movie is now going in this direction. This is really stupid and lame. It's going to ruin the movie." And just when I think they're going to do it, it's almost like a fake out, and they go in another direction. And there were a bunch of moments in this movie that I thought that the movie was going to derail, and actually it continued the ship continued to be steady. And you know what? It's the movie isn't too long. It doesn't outstay its welcome. I think that the screenplay is really decently written here. It does exactly what it needs to do, and I dare say that out of all the things that I've ever seen Paul Rudd do, I this may be the performance of his career. I think that this was the type of role that he's perfect for, because you needed a guy who was likable on one hand, but a guy that also he's going through something not good, but you still want to root for him. Do you get what I'm saying? And I
Sure.
think that Paul Rudd, I'm not saying that he's the best at comedy or the best at drama or the best at music or the best at this or the best at that. But if you needed a guy who's pretty decent at a lot of these things and overall likable, he does do that. And I think this role was just perfect for him.
Nice.
And if that's probably the biggest strength of the movie is Paul Rudd, in my opinion, giving a really good performance. The other thing is that it's a really nicely told story. Uh, there's moments where maybe you feel it's starting to go into a little, it's almost getting a little emotional, whatever, but then it pulls back. It doesn't go that extra mile to make it too cheesy and unbearable. I also think that by the time we get to the ending, there's a bit of a more nuanced ending. I think that a lot of bigger Hollywood productions that weren't made for $7 million or so, I think that they would have been tempted at the end to make like things a little more like almost like you're going to Disneyland, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I felt that in this case, it had the option. I thought that the movie was going to end one way. It didn't end that way, and I was happy with something that they did. I don't know if to say it's an ambiguous ending, but it's a more nuanced ending, and I thought that I liked what they were doing with it. And more than anything, it felt like there was a guy here. I guess he's done other stuff. He's done something called Once and other things that I've heard good things about. I just never watched them. I think he's an Irish director, the guy. In any
Hmm.
case, not a bum. This was a guy that knew how to make this movie. It was a low budget movie, and he did it. And this for me, Professor, is one of I can't believe I'm saying this. Probably one of the best movies I've seen this year. Again, not the high, like it's kind of a low bar here because movies haven't been so great. But if people were excited about less stuff like Backrooms and Obsession in terms of doing like horror, I think in terms of doing like a drama, but one that doesn't also like weigh you down, that has a positive message too. You know what I mean? Like I thought that there were moments that especially towards the end of the movie, I even felt a few emotions, Professor. Like the movie kind of won me over, which is very strange because that I was kind of surprised as this was happening. But I thought that there was something about it, moments that are wholesome, not just sappy, but wholesome, a message that I felt was overall positive. And I think that it was sort of at the end a universal idea. Whether for me, maybe for me it was especially something that I connected to because I know what it feels like to be the Paul Rudd character. I was back in the day in a band, and I was in situations that are not completely unsimilar to what he describes, and you do feel later like, oh, maybe I could have done this and maybe I could have done that, and maybe that's something that I connected to that character. But beyond that, I will say that even if you're not a musician and there was something else you wanted to do in life that you didn't do, or that you felt that you're good at something but people don't recognize it, or different things like that, I think that there's a lot you could relate to this very universal story. uh and it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what your background is. This movie is not, in my opinion, not woke in any way. It's not building on, oh, like this guy is a victim, this guy is that guy is this. None of that shit, Professor. This one is a movie. It's telling its story. And you know what I like that I also see with the Obsession, all this other stuff that we're seeing, you can say about Backrooms, the less money you have, also those kind of big studios can't come in with their suits and say, oh, can you do all this agenda stuff that we need you to peddle? We are putting $200 million here. They can't say that. When a movie costs $7 million, there's very little that anybody could say about anything. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like when a movie costs, in the case of Obsession, $750,000, there is not one person that could say anything to that Curry Barker guy. I really think we need like 7 girl bosses here. It's like they couldn't even do that even if they wanted. You know what I mean? Like there's not money now to change or reshoot or fix it in post. You have none of that. You have to finish the movie, and you don't have time for their shit. And when I watched this movie, I felt that it was the kind of movie that maybe 20 years ago we'd get, and it would be a nice movie. Maybe even somebody would consider it for like awards or Oscars or things like that. It's probably not going to happen now because if it doesn't have like 70, I don't know how else to describe it, but it doesn't have like 70 diverse lesbians in it, so it's not going to get that, like, that award. Doesn't have all these like plump people or weirdos or things like that. Like it's not really that kind of movie, so it's probably not going to be nominated for anything. I think even they have requirements that if you don't have 70 lesbians, you won't get nominated. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Not
Yeah.
not the not the not that I have anything against 70 lesbians, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You got to have the right kind of diversity and all of that stuff pressed into your film. Forced in there to get those nominations. Yeah.
In any case, bottom line is, I think that this is a very, very decent movie. It's a good time at the theater. It was a much better movie than I thought it would be, and I would argue one of the best movies I've seen this year. I would have to think more. I'm probably going to do a review, and I'll think what kind of grade to give it. But honestly, for $7 million and whatever it's trying to accomplish, it doesn't do a ton of things wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like this, for whatever it's supposed to be, and also, and I take into consideration budgets as well. I think this is a well-made movie. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I liked it more than Backrooms.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, Backrooms. As much as I enjoyed part of it, the rest of it was not. And the ending was definitely disappointing for me. So
I didn't hate it. I mean, I didn't.
I didn't hate the movie either. It's got some interesting creative stuff. I just the ending I felt was a real letdown, and there was a lot of stuff that got left unexplained. And of course, people are going to say, "Well, it's supposed to be unexplained. It's supposed to be mysterious." I get that, but if you're doing a series of YouTube videos, that's one thing. If you're doing a film, to leave it so thoroughly open ended, like, feels kind of a cheat.
Mr. Tech Rat, no, you're correct. Think about him. Out of 70 lesbians, how many do you think you would even find attractive? I think Mr. Tech Rat is a guy that I sometimes see him. I think I'm always wondering who this person is. Sorry, but I think he's on Badgercast.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know if I ever hear him saying anything. I'm so confused about Mr. Tech Rat. Maybe it's Badger himself. In any case, nice to see you here, Mr. Tech Rat. In any case, like I said, I liked it better than Backrooms. I would say that I liked this better than Tuner. I liked Tuner. I thought Tuner was a good little movie. Again, you have to also understand Tuner, this thing, Backrooms, and Obsession, all movies that are $10 million or under. And I think that the most expensive out of the four was Backrooms. So when you're looking at a movie as like 750,000, 5 million, 7 million, you're not going to get a movie here, it's a different type of movie than maybe you get from these kind of big blockbusters. But I would argue that those other movies had a lot more, authenticity or something interesting about them, even Backrooms, than those other big ones. And it's still part of this turning point that we're seeing. So I feel strange about saying this, but I actually think that Power Ballad is a good movie, and I kind of recommend it. It's a good time at the theater. It was good. Again, if you need to see sci-fi or action or horror, this movie isn't going to be that. I saw in some of the comments are like, "Oh, this is a feel-good movie." I think that it doesn't do the feel-good in a way that's annoying. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, it's not feel-good like Hallmark. I feel like it's feel-good more nuanced, and I like that because I really didn't need it to be a Hallmark, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Maybe it belonged on the Hallmark Channel. What? I'm just kidding.
No.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, Tuner was kind of more quirky. It was a guy that he tunes pianos, and because he has this kind of almost hearing disorder, that he hears noises in a very sensitive way, it helps him. Like when you need to pick a safe, his like capability of picking up frequencies and hearing things helps him like crack safes. And some like criminals pick up on this and want him to like be their safe cracking guy, and he kind of gets like lured into this thing that he wasn't initially really looking to be part of. And I think that the movie is, for small movie, small budget, I think that it's nice. I like these kind of stories. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see something that's just interesting. I don't need another IP, especially with the way they handle the IPs. They don't respect those IPs. They've already milked them. Any IP that was worth milking, they've milked it for everything it had, and they did it in the shittiest possible way. Sorry, Sean. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did so poorly with all of these, and so people are just so sick of it. And and the final thing, and I'll try to bring it back to this He-Man thing that's flopping, and we can sort of dwell on that a bit. He-Man, this is the way I saw it. After that stinky Kevin Smith disaster, they had one shot at doing something that's a little more cool and a little more honors people. And it's like you said, Professor, don't spend $200 million. Give me a movie that costs maybe like, $30 million. Okay. Make that movie something that it's almost like you don't need a ton of effects. Make it almost like an imaginary medieval times situation with He-Man on Eternia. Do you get what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of like, think of Game of Thrones or whatever it is, something like that. So
yeah, it did not need to be a fish out of water movie.
No, make it
at
that
all.
they're in this alternate world. You see like a prince trying to like, that he's not the best at everything, trying to impress his father. You see a crisis on the planet. His father may be taken hostage. Now people are looking at the prince and he goes through some kind of process of real growth as a character. And don't even introduce the He-Man thing. I mean, talk about it, but don't have him actually turn into He-Man until like later in the movie, but show this kind of journey that he's taking, battles to make them a little more interesting, a little more I don't know if to say gritty. The fact that there was a cartoon doesn't mean that we have to have it look like the cartoon now. You know what I mean? Obviously, a Saturday or an afternoon cartoon for kids is not the same thing as a movie that you're doing live action. And we talked about this, and I've told you this also. We recently did the Batman 1966. That was an interpretation. But when they made the movie, the Burton one in the late 80s or later, the Christopher Nolan one, they took a different tone and they made it more epic and more whatever. And I think that that was the right choice to make. The fact that it was good as a campy thing in a certain moment of time for kids, it doesn't mean that it can't be something else. It doesn't mean that you can't try to make it a little more epic. You could still, even the funny Batman, the later Batmans, still still respected the essence of what Batman is. Even the 1966 one, they just made it like they presented it a bit different, but it was respect. They still respected the characters. In He-Man, I felt that they were disrespecting the characters. Everything had become a joke. For me, I don't know. That's how I felt about it. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the thing where it's like people are given, this is the way I see it. People are given to be in charge of a property. Somebody came to a group of people and said, "Hey, you want to do this He-Man movie?" They're like, "Great." Then these same people who either did not grow up watching the show, don't even understand what it means. Maybe they grew up looking at memes, at funny memes. Maybe they looked around and the kind of humor. Yes, even I've been at parties. I've been at parties where, I've sat there with some people sitting, drinking beers, laughing at the fact that He-Man, if you look at it from a certain perspective, there's some funny stuff there that, that kind of Ram Man and Fisto. I've had conversations with friends where we laugh at that. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine to laugh.
Yeah.
Those are funny names. It's fine to laugh at it. But the fact that we laughed on it at it and kind of looked back to some things that seemed a bit fishy about the show, that doesn't change the fact that the show itself, if you watch it, even until now, it's it's serious about the themes that it's promoting. You know what I'm saying? It's serious about him being a good heroic guy. It's serious about that. Maybe all the rest around it is campy, but the essence of the character is a certain way. And here, it's not just that they're like, oh, we want to make a 2026 movie that's campy like the original show, so we did great. They didn't do campy like the original show. They did a movie that basically makes fun of the show. Now, if you enjoy that, that's fine. Some people are like, yeah, I don't mind that there's a parody. I don't mind that it's like not taking itself seriously and it's like a joke. It's fine. Some people don't mind that, and I'm not angry at them. But for me, it's just, I don't think it was the right thing to do. And honestly, I will still argue that if this movie costs like $30 million to make, was a more kind of down to earth story but taking place in a medieval other planet or whatever you want to call it, if they manage to find a good balance, do it for $30 million and honor more of the essence of what the character is, I think that the movie either would have done better, or if nothing else, they wouldn't have lost $200 million.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, it's I hear so many people talking about how much they like this, and I've heard plenty of other people talk about how it didn't do, it wasn't that great, it was okay, there was this, that, whatever. There's been a few people who've really hated on it. People were telling me the other day that I was just unfairly hating on it. I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I didn't. I did not Tom Connors hate this movie.
No, no, no.
I was not like screaming and I just didn't think it was a good movie. I really didn't, and the humor didn't work for me at all. I didn't think it was funny. I was frustrated by every time I thought the movie was gonna pick up and start doing something and start giving us heroic moments, start being sincere. They had to interrupt it with really dumb, Joss Whedon-esque, MCU poorly timed humor. I didn't. enjoy any of. People say, "Oh, but they were making. Oh, if you don't get it, they're making fun of woke." I don't want any of that terminology in the movie. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear it. Uh, you know, I if the
I don't
lesson is
need to
going to
make
be that
fun of
he
it.
needs
For me,
to be. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to interject and I'll let you continue. For me, make quote unquote making fun of woke is just making the movie not woke. But go, do you get what I'm saying? I don't need the internal thing of wink,
Just
wink.
yeah.
We know that we're annoying. Look, we know we're annoying. I don't need that. We all know you're annoying too. You can go fuck yourself. Now
See,
do a human movie. But go
yeah.
on. Sorry.
See how annoying HR is. See, we think HR is annoying too. See, it's like no, just no. I don't want any of that. That just it takes me out of the movie. It makes me, because I mean, it's funny because there's people who are laughing at that and they'd be like, "See, they're making fun of it." It's like, do you actually live in a world where you have to deal with people like this on a regular basis? Because if you do, you'll realize that these are not outsized, ridiculous, over the top versions of people in HR. That boss bitch lady or whatever that calls him out, reams him at one point. She's not a caricature. That's exactly what they act like, and that's exactly what those people talk like. It's not some outsized ridiculous caricature. So I guess to me it was like that doesn't, you can't make a caricature of these monsters like like that person. But anyway, it was, no, this is not the worst film I've ever seen. It was not, something that, I'm not like wanting to swear off everything from Mattel ever again. Not any of that stuff. Just no, I just didn't enjoy it as a film. I didn't think it was funny. The humor didn't land for me at all. Every little bit and every little moment here and there that I thought, hey, yeah, they're doing right by He-Man. They're doing a good job telling a story. This is a solid action film. Every single moment where I thought that was going to be good, ended up just being interrupted or overturned or something by some stupid moment in the film. So
I see
yeah.
that Mr. Tech Rat is saying, yeah, no, he's a real person. I'll tell you what, Badger actually, I do streams with him on, and I've done a lot of them on Irwin's channel on Nerd Wars. Now, when it comes to Badger's videos, like his recent He-Man review and things like that, I often catch his videos when I can, when he does like a 5 to 10 minute video about something, because those are just easier. When it comes to his streams, I believe that it's kind of like a Friday night type of stream, and I don't often have time during that day and time to watch it. I thought that from time to time maybe I see clips of it or maybe I've seen parts of it. I remember here, obviously I remember that you're on it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, Mr. Tech Rat, it's from, Badgercast, or is it inside the Badger Den or one of those? I remember you being there, but I guess usually either in the clips or in the segments that I've watched, I don't know, maybe it kind of got lost in the shuffle, so I didn't pay enough attention. But I definitely knew you were part of that crew. I just said, oh, I don't remember now what you've said. I'm trying to hear of things like segments that you talked, and I couldn't really think of any. So didn't mean to offend you. I understand that you're not Badger, and it's two different people. and, and I apologize. And yeah, Badger is a cool guy. Just because we bringing it up, when I put my review out that I didn't like He-Man, actually Badger watched my review and commented on it and kind of jokingly said, okay, now we're not agreeing with each other anymore, because for a while there was like a long time ago a few things that were on and Badger felt one way about it and I felt another way, and we were doing streams with Irwin, and suddenly I don't know what happened. We had this streak of a really long streak that every time there's like a show, Badger and I would pretty much agree on it. And like recently we said, like, this is getting strange, like we're agreeing on everything. And then finally I guess the He-Man thing is where we parted ways on agreeing, because he really liked the movie and I didn't, but he left like a good sport comment on my review, and then I went and I also watched his review that he posted, like, afterwards. I watched his review, and I also respect the fact that he liked it. I mean, even in his review he said that maybe they could have toned down the humor. That's the thing, that somebody could still like a movie and point point to something that I also pointed in my review. It bothered me more maybe than it bothered him. You know what I'm saying? But even he said, like, maybe they could have trimmed a little bit of this humor. And for me, I think they could have trimmed a lot of it. But Even the people that like this movie, I think, recognize that maybe the tone of it wasn't for everybody, and there's no reason to fight about it. You know, I enjoy sitting and talking to Badger, even if we don't agree on something. If we just agreed on everything, why would it be an interesting conversation? I think that it's fun sometimes when you're not agreeing with somebody. And he's like, "Well, I like this actor, and I don't like this actor at all." You know, it's fun. That's what we do, right?
Yes, it's fun, and I agree with you on everything, Price. That's why our show is so interesting.
Well, I don't know. We agree on a lot, and maybe that's why we enjoy doing this stream. But I'm saying that, we there could be sometimes I would say a band or a show or something, and you'll be like, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, don't really like that. But that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Sorry.
So I don't
A
know
bit
if
of a frog in my
Mr.
throat. Sorry.
Tech Rat is still here or I chased him away. But in any case, sorry about that.
He seems to still be here.
He ran for the hills.
Ran for the rat's nest. Yeah. So this obviously. Do you think Amazon is going to be making another movie? Do you think they're just already so bought into it that they're thinking, yeah, oh yeah, already working on the She-Ra film, right? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think they released it to theater hoping with Amazon, even if they don't make this money, it's not such a big dent for them. But I think that they're able to gauge some kind of level of interest. If this would have made, like, let's say $100 million, and then they put it on streaming, even if they seemingly lost some money, based on the streaming numbers, they can think, well, maybe it's worth it to do a hybrid like that, where we make money here, we make money there, and it's a good look for us. But with this kind of money that this movie made, I don't think that I would get excited to do more. I don't think I'd greenlight a She-Ra or anything, although you never know. But I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I never want to know with them because it seems like sometimes they want to just forge ahead with whatever this idea is that they have because well, this one didn't work, but maybe the next one will or something. I mean, there's been a bunch of stuff that they've done that I feel like they just keep moving on with it. Now, that doesn't count when we were talking about Rings of Power because that one they basically had a contract to they have to keep making new seasons, right? And so even though the first one was so poorly received, like they have to keep going, so they made another season, and that one was also very poorly received. They have to make it, and then they got to keep going. It sounds like maybe they might have finally reached a point where they're willing to say, no, we're not going to make any more. We're going to we are going to pay out whatever contract, and we are going to stop making this because it's costing them a ton of money and it's terrible. It's not getting them any ratings at all. You're talking about something that, like, from the first the first series to the second series, they lost like 75% of their audience by the end of the second season. Like their audience has just collapsed to nothing, and I'm imagining this next season is going to make it even worse. So I feel like I don't know. It feels like, yes, at the spoilers, guys. They do tease a She-Ra film at the end of this movie, but that maybe they've already got the plans and they think that maybe the She-Ra movie will do better.
I don't know. If they're already making it, they're kind of done.
Yeah, like that. Maybe She-Ra was the movie they always wanted to make in the first place, right? Like they felt like they had to do He-Man first, but She-Ra is the one they really have their heart in. Want to make?
They can make it the girl boss right away.
Oh yeah.
I guarantee
the central character with this time will be the girl boss.
I promise you now. If they were to make a She-Ra movie, and you all the people that like this He-Man movie can say whatever you want, they would not make her look like some dumb idiot for 3/4 of the movie. She'd be like this stunning and brave girl boss from the first second, and at the end, uh, because at the beginning, if it stays true to the way it was in the
Hmm.
animated show, she at the beginning works for Hordak because she's under a spell. So she's going to be the victim, 2017 type of victim, if you know what I'm saying. That Hordak has taken control of her. When she finally breaks those chains, you won't hold her accountable for anything bad she's ever done because she was under the spell of a terrible Hordak. And then she's going to be the biggest girl boss ever that does everything great and kicks everybody's ass in like 5 seconds. That's what I think their Shira movie is. There's
Oh yeah.
probably an outline sitting somewhere that this is whatever I just described. That's what happens.
Oh yeah. And they will not at any moment make fun of Shira's name, ever. They'll not talk about it. If they do anything talking about Shira's name, they'll talk about how empowering it is.
There's not going to
Right.
be some HR person telling her that she's a toxic woman. There's not going to be some weird shit. She's going to go around and she's going to be like the like a sympathetic villain that's under a spell of somebody else that she's trying to break free. Then she breaks free and she's the best. That's the movie. That is
Mhm.
the Shiro movie. There's an outline sitting somewhere, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Uh, and you know what? I'm actually kind of sad that they're not going to make this Shiro movie, most likely, because when they did make it, I could compare it to the He-Man one and say, "See, this is what they do to a character that they actually do give a shit about, versus one that they think is just an idiot." That's my 2 cents, though.
Yeah.
By the way, I've probably told you this before, and I'm embarrassed by it, but this is the truth. As a child, I was in the movie theater when the He-Man and She-Ra movie came out. I saw it in the theater,
Yep.
and you know what? I know how this is going to sound. It is not the worst movie.
No, it's not. It's not at all. I did not see it in the theater, but yeah, I have seen it, and no, it's not terrible. Yeah.
Let's see if
Here on the Christmas special. No, Secret of the Sword. Yeah.
Secret
Was
of
the
the
film.
Sword.
Yeah.
Secret of the Sword is a pretty good movie. What do you want? I see the critics gave it a 60, the users gave it 80%, and it's not one that I think they manipulate because they don't really give a shit. It's like an old thing, so I don't think they'd make the effort. I think that for whatever it was supposed to be, it was actually quite good. Uh, I found myself the other day, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think that it's posted online, even on the official He-Man channel or something like that. So I clicked and watched like just a little bit of the beginning of it. And you know what? There's still something wholesome about it. Yeah, it's campy and it's a kid's cartoon and all that stuff, but there's something a bit wholesome about it that I still liked. You know what I mean? It wasn't. I didn't hate what I saw. I would unironically probably enjoy watching like Secret of the Sword more than the new live action He Man.
As would I. I think.
And by no means, I'm not saying that the Secret of the Sword is like like The Godfather. Okay, I'm just saying that
No.
it doesn't. Here's the thing that I was also told. People were like, "What are you like?" Adam was always an idiot. Like that's why he's an idiot here. People were saying that to me in the comments of my video. No, he wasn't an idiot. If you watch Secret of the Sword, there's a part where Adam goes to that other dimension where Adora is, and he sees
Hmm.
like some bad people, Hordak's bad people, taking advantage of some guy, and even though he's not He-Man, he steps up as Adam and like he intervenes. You know what I mean? He's like, why are you treating him that way? And there's this kind of, even that he's wearing a strange pink outfit or whatever you want to say, in the pink vest, there's something still like a demeanor about him that he gets up and he's like, I have to stand up here for what's right. You know what I mean? Like, and he even does a little bit, even not as He-Man, as Adam, kind of a few moves against these guys. And the only thing that I'll give is that, like he said, he does like a few moves and like flips a few people around, and then he says, "Oh, I got to thank Tila for showing me that move." So that's a nice compliment to like a female character, but at the same time, it's not like it's not overdone. You know what I mean? Like I guess what I'm saying is that movie, you could see when he's Adam and when he's He-Man, he has that kind of noble quality to him of like this kind of hero. And even with the funny looking clothes, which seem very flamboyant before he becomes He-Man, I will still say that he carries himself in a way that's more masculine. Even
Yeah.
with the funny haircut and the pink vest and whatever it is, still kind of walks around and seems like, a confident guy, especially there's like an injustice, he wants to step in. Uh, that for me is more along the lines of the character. Also, they completely destroyed Cringer in this thing. Like, Cringer, why I liked him is that he's always afraid. He-Man, like Adam, is like the way he is. Cringer is always afraid. Cringer goes through a much bigger transformation when he becomes Battle Cat. The second that, like, he goes from Cringer to Battle Cat, that is like completely two different characters. And in this movie, they made like him not really Cringer. He's just a talking lion or whatever he's supposed to be, talking tiger or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't even fucking know, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's
Yep.
just he just talks and that's it. He's not afraid and not afraid. He just talks and that's it. And then at the end they're like, oh, here now he's Battle Cat. But it's like, well, he didn't go through anything. He wasn't afraid before, and now he doesn't seem heroic. All you did was slap some armor on him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing.
It was basically the same character. Yeah. You didn't see
Character.
any transformation.
The whole idea of Cringer, I mean, it's He-Man and there's Cringer, and they just completely, and I said that in my review, it's like he's just there. There's nothing going on with Cringer. It's just like, the complete like waste of whatever. Orko, you mentioned that at the end, and I don't think it's a spoiler, and I don't care at this point, that at the end you see Orko briefly. That was actually one of the better parts of the movie. I thought that was fun. You know what I mean?
I got a genuine laugh for me. About one of the only times in the film that I did genuinely laugh.
If Orko would have been here and they would have had some fun with him, as sort of a guide to He-Man or whatever, maybe there was something fun that they could have done with it. People are always hating on Orko or whatever. I don't know. Or I don't think they're hating on it. I think that Kevin Smith started this because he like did it and he's like, everybody hates Orko. It's like, I don't hate him. I mean, I remember as a kid, I didn't hate Orko. Like, it's a funny little sidekick thing, like
Yeah.
it was fine. Do I need to see him every second in the movie? Probably not. Could he have been in the movie? Sure. I He didn't bother me. And the final thing I'll say, and then people are there were a few things people got upset at me. First of all, some people got annoyed in my review that I mentioned, and I got some really like a few comments that were the kind that I had considered, if what to do about them, but I ultimately just let them be. But people were accusing me of being different things in the comments because I mentioned that the girl that plays the daughter of a Man at Arms in the movie doesn't seem like she would be his biological daughter. And I was saying that basically, I mean, I think I didn't elaborate as much, but we know that she's basically considered adopted in a lot of different lore. So they
Yeah.
could have just had a throwaway line saying that she's adopted, and that would have been fine, but they didn't want to do it because now they're so kind of afraid of their political correctness within their own political correctness that they're like, well, if we address the fact that she's adopted, it'll be like we thought that we had to do it because they don't look like they would be father and daughter. So maybe we just don't say anything. And it's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, stay true to the fucking lore, whatever it is. Like, she's obviously not his biological daughter. Like, there is no, in my opinion, there is no scenario that she's his biological daughter. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, she did not appear to be that.
She didn't appear to be that, and in the lore, she's adopted. So just to do a throwaway line, yeah, I adopted you, like when your parents whatever, and I took like I became your father. You could say anything, and even make it work like as an emotional moment within the story.
Hey, you know what? I thought representation was important. Why can't there be some representation there for adopted children?
Adopted children, they don't want to. So yes, so basically they don't want to say anything about it because then it's like not PC to mention that she's adopted. And then when I said it, people are like saying bad things about me in the comment. I'm like, no, I first of all, if anybody actually listened to my review, I said that I thought that Idris Elba was probably one of the highlights of the movie, and I meant it. I think that out of all the characters that like somebody is like playing a character, I actually felt that the enthusiasm that Idris Elba brought in the earlier scenes, not later when he's a fucking bum, but I mean in like the first act of the movie, Idris Elba is the only one that comes out there to battle and looks like he's enjoying. He's the only one for me that brought a little bit of the magic of what that character would be. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, I guess what I'm saying is, in the first act of the movie, if I just judging by that, I would say that Idris Elba understood the assignment more than a lot of other things that happen in this movie. Sadly, though, even though he understood the assignment, by the time the writers take over their bullshit in the second and third act, he's just some like miserable bum, you know?
Yep.
But I personally thought that he did like a good job. So it wasn't me criticizing Idris Elba or even his casting. I'm just saying that he doesn't look like Tila's father. So at least yeah, it could
Yeah.
be a throwaway line. You could just say that. What were they so afraid of? Why are they afraid to say that like she's adopted?
Who knows? Don't know why that would be such a problem, but yep. They don't. It's not mentioned. They have time for all sorts of other lame stuff. You couldn't take 2 seconds for one well-written line to talk about. Oh, yeah, she's adopted or whatever. No, no. Plenty of time for stupid jokes, though. Man. Yep.
I
I
feel
know
like
there's a ton of people out there love this movie. I don't. It's fine. If you enjoyed it, great. I'm glad you had a fun time at the movies. Like we said, things are subjective, especially when it comes to humor. Things are subjective, and it just the humor here mostly fell totally flat for me, or it did the exact opposite. It was infuriating for me because I wanted the movie to start to move forward with something a little more sincere. I wanted it to start building momentum, and then there's just like this. It's like you just get slapped in the face with a stupid MCU humor. Actually, Real Life Fake Wizard had a great, excellent video that he did talking about this exact problem in the film, and he's right on the money talking about it. It's exactly what I was talking about. Like you're moving along, something starts to feel sincere, something you start to build momentum, and then it's just like being smacked upside the head. It's infuriating. Yeah, but yeah. Someone asked me whether I enjoyed it better than better than Mandalorian and Grogu. No. I did not enjoy it. It was a frustrating experience for me. Mandalorian and Grogu was just like meh. Why am I bothering here? There's a lot of stuff in it that that I thought didn't work very well, but I didn't leave the theater going like, oh my God, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe they did that. I mean, I didn't leave the theater with either of the movies saying that, but I mean, Mando and Grogu it's just kind of a nothing burger. There's really nothing there at all.
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, both movies were annoying for different reasons. Mandalorian and Grogu wasn't offensively bad. It wasn't like, out of all the stuff that Disney has done to be like offensive and annoying and all that stuff, or even if you want to say woke, I don't feel like it did any of that. Mandalorian and Grogu. I just thought it wasn't an especially good movie. It was uninspired. It was like by the numbers, didn't bring anything interesting to the table, boring at times, too long. But at the same time, I didn't think that like the goal of Disney was in that specific movie to take a dump on me for a change. For a change in that movie, I don't think the idea was to take a dump on Star Wars fans. What they didn't realize is after 10 years at least of dumping on them, and then one time doing a movie that's not taking a dump on them, but doing it with like characters that people don't care about a show that we haven't seen for several seasons and hasn't been good in like 6 years. I think that there was a lot of miscalculated decisions there. But I don't think that the movie was offensively bad. In the case of He-Man, there were enough moments that I'm like, man, this is making fun of He-Man. This is not He-Man. It's a movie that's basically taking He-Man and explaining to you that they're making fun of it and it's a joke. Now, I'm again, like you said, I didn't get upset like maybe Tom did about it, even though I understand his passion for it and I respect it. But I'm saying that for me, it wasn't that kind of anger. It was just that like I'm just so tired of this and I don't have any patience. And uh, I will say they already had their chance with the Netflix things. They blew it. Just do something that gives a little bit of reverence to the source material, not just like having contempt for it and the people that liked it. That's the way I felt. But if people liked it, that's fine. I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell people what to like or not. I will still argue that I think that over time, that He-Man movie, when it comes to in years or decades to come, I don't know how strongly that movie is going to hold up. I think that people now wanted a good He-Man movie and were a little more fan goodwillish toward it, and came with a good mood. I don't know if moving forward it's going to be as well liked, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is one movie I see on the list over there on your screen that did not get great reviews from the critics.
All right,
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, look, that
39% from critics, 97% from the audience price, and you can share my screen.
okay.
Michael Jackson biopic crosses $900 million. Been doing incredible at the box office. I have not gotten to see this yet, but everyone I've spoken to said it was great. And I'm looking forward to seeing this movie when I can.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I saw it, and I'm happy that I saw it kind of when it came out, and it was in IMAX, and there was like a decent crowd watching it. Not full, because I think it was the very first show, so I don't know. I mean, also there was like initially the critics were panning it and all this other stuff, but when I watched it, I said to myself, this is a good movie. I like what it does. You're always going to run into challenges with biopics. It's rare that you're going to have like 2 hours to cover like somebody like Michael Jackson and do it in the way that you feel maybe gave you enough of everything that you wanted to learn about. There's only so much it can do. And with all that being said, considering that it's a 2 hour time frame and they want to kind of show you a glimpse of what his early years were like or whatever it is, I think they did a fine job. I think um, the actor, the nephew that plays Michael Jackson, does a really good job in this movie. And he probably, again, just like I was saying about Paul Rudd or whatever, they probably won't nominate him for any awards because it's going to be like, well, if we nominate him for awards, we'll have to admit that this movie maybe wasn't terrible, and then they wouldn't do that. So it's probably not going to be nominated, even though I think he did a really good job. But that's where we're at now. You have the critics working against, audiences. It's been like that for a long time, but I think that oddly, it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, and to me, it's fascinating. Like the critics that are hating on it so much, really. And if you read some of the reviews, if you look at some of the reviews, a lot of them are hating on it because they're saying, "Oh, well, it's not honest because it didn't talk about, his, all the things he was accused of doing with children." It's like it doesn't even get to that part of his life.
It doesn't get to that part of his life.
It,
By
it
the
doesn't.
way,
It doesn't even get there.
just so you know, they actually filmed the movie was supposed to end with some developments regarding that. And they ended up, for legal and different reasons, removing that from the movie. So, and it wasn't a situation. I think that the filmmakers may have wanted to put it in there, but it became difficult for a number of different reasons, and it ended up being removed from it. Personally, though, I don't need it. I think the movie does what it does. It's not, if you want to see a movie that tries to peddle that narrative, one that while he was alive was never proven anything concrete against him anywhere, aside from a big publicized trial that he ended up being acquitted on 14 counts, without even not even those kind of reasonable doubt. He's just being like acquitted of everything. uh, Aside from that, you don't really have much to go with here. So I don't really know what they want. I mean, so they wanted his brothers to make a movie that takes court records and the decisions that juries made and say, no, we don't like those decisions and we want to show that he's a terrible guy. Why would his brothers do that? I mean, it doesn't even it doesn't seem logical to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, his brothers are making a movie because they want to celebrate their brother. The nephew is literally playing him. Why would they want to make a movie saying that he's shitty?
Yeah,
Based on something that was never
yeah,
proven? Do you get what I mean?
yeah. Based on something that was never proven. That's people have been bringing up this stuff nonstop, and I've heard it nonstop when people bring up this movie. Nothing was ever proven, and not him, his insurance choosing to pay off the accusers, right, to settle with them. Not him, but his insurance over his
There was too
insistence that
much
they
money.
don't.
There was too much money on the line. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of lessons to be learned there, and, I don't know how exactly everything went down there, but I will say this, everybody that was surrounding Michael Jackson wanted that whole situation to go away. From what I can tell, I don't wanna say 'cause it's not my place. Over the years, it appears, at least based on stuff that's out there, uh, that I don't want to get into it because I don't know. You know, what I mean, I don't want to. Not that I don't know. I just there's certain platforms that I don't want to slide into whatever. I'll go with what you said. That basically, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a situation Michael Jackson went along or agreed with anything that was being said by the early one with the settlement, as much as that there was a tour, there was an album, there was like billions on the line with the biggest star in the world. That some people in suits said, "We're giving this kid some money and let's let him go away. It's like a parking ticket. We don't know what this guy wants, but just get rid of him, and then we can go make
Yeah,
our billion." But
yeah.
what they didn't realize is there's a few things that happened there. One, this would tarnish his image, Michael Jackson, and the other thing is that I think it opened the door that a lot of other, and I'm going to be very careful here, but perhaps other parents that may be looking for a payday, this gave a feeling that perhaps there's a good payday to be made.
This was true, yes.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
And I think that that's why when the second thing came around, he said like I'm not paying anybody anything. You know what I'm saying? He's like I'm not doing anything. I'm going to sit in court. I'm going
Yeah.
like full on
Yeah.
to court.
He wanted to fight the allegations. The insurance company that paid out the settlements made the choice over his objections. Yeah.
Right.
He believed he was innocent till, and wanted to be proven innocent in court. He wanted it to be shown that he was innocent of what he was doing. But they overruled his decision and they paid out those settlements. So yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
I'm
I'm glad to see this movie's doing well. A lot of people have said a lot of good things about it. Definitely something I'm going to catch as soon as I can get it on streaming
It's
somewhere.
worth it. It's worth it. And just to sum it up, I didn't need the whatever like you said, accusations, different things. I didn't need any of that in the movie. I understand that they wanted to they filmed something, they removed it, whatever it is. But when I saw the movie, I didn't feel like, oh, this would have been a great place to put that in the movie. I actually don't know why they even filmed it. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have even gone there. I think that sometimes you have a happy accident. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
somebody told them that this was not a good idea and they ended up removing it late in the game, and you know what, whoever told them don't do this is stupid. I'm happy that they did that, because when you watch the movie you don't need to think about any of that. The idea is that he's an artist, this is what he does, this is his story, and I just don't have an issue with that. And again,
Yep.
uh, we go through this each time and I always feel like it annoys me, even the whole subject matter. But the bottom line, all I can say, and I always tell you the same thing: the people that today, 15 years after he, more 17 years after he died, that suddenly pop up, like in recent years, and they're like, "Hey, we just remembered something. We want money." You know what I mean? It's like that sure is a long time that it took for somebody to remember that. You know?
Yep. Yep. All right.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is.
No,
So,
I know
sure
what
is
you mean.
when a guy's already dead, and the other thing is that in some cases you have people that actually went to his trial and said that, like, testified that he didn't do anything wrong and he was a great guy, and now they're like, well, when we think about it now, maybe we were wrong. It's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Just a bizarre situation, in my opinion, and one that just it doesn't generate credibility. So that's my opinion on it.
Yep. We have a super chat we need to get to, buddy. It's been up there for a while from our old friend the dead man.
Oh, sorry, the dead man. Let me see.
Yep. We were just too busy talking.
Talking about.
All sorts of things. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. So we have I do see it. Let me see for a second. It's from the Dead Man, and I'm going to try to share it right now. Okay. Share. I often practice the ancient Chinese art of tuning.
Tuning.
Tuning?
Yeah, the movie Tuning. He was laughing at the
the tuner
title
thing.
of Tuning. Yeah. You know what's funny? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you know what's funny? There is an actress in the movie Tuner that she also appears, even though more briefly, in this movie. What's his face? In Power Ballad.
Oh.
Like 2 movies they have her, and it kind of I could say what I think, but it's probably going to be super inappropriate. Uh, I probably shouldn't say anything. The smart thing now for me is to say nothing, Professor. But since this is a late hour and I say stupid things anyways, then she's kind of an actress that I would categorize her as Asian-ish. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
She's sort
Okay.
of Asian. I don't know who she is, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's just Asian, but it almost looks like perhaps she's maybe one of her parents were Asian and one wasn't Asian. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like, Hollywood really likes those kind of things. It's like they love it when there's something that's like ambiguous, like, Zendaya or The Rock or something that like it's not 100% clear. They really like that kind of stuff. So
It checks a lot of boxes for them.
but maybe she's like she fulfills that like function in the indie world. Like if you have less than $10, like that less than $10 million, and Zendaya won't do it, then you call this young lady. She's not bad though. I will say that she's a decent actress. I thought she was fine in Tuner, and I thought she was fine in this movie. I didn't think she was a bad actor. I kind of liked her. I was just thinking about it that maybe they're building her up as the new Zendaya.
What's funny when you mentioned the tuner and then he mentions tuning here, what really comes to mind is the movie Dark City. Have you seen that movie? That's from the 90s.
Dark City?
Yeah. It was kind of the Matrix before the Matrix.
I don't think I saw it, no.
Oh, okay. Here, should pull it up here. This was Alex Proyas film, and it stars Rufus Sewell.
I've heard about this movie, and people have told me that I have to watch it, but I believe I've never watched it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I've got. They put out a 4K version that has the original and a director's cut on it last year. It's a really solid film. It's a lot of fun. This is one, interestingly enough, I the first time I caught it on HBO, and I missed like the first couple of minutes of it. So I actually thought the movie was actually a lot better because there was more of a mystery to it, because they explain a lot of stuff at the start of the theatrical cut of the movie, and actually I think it ruins it a little bit. It ruins the movie a little bit. It was kind of funny that I accidentally missed those first few minutes, and it made the movie that much more interesting because I was like trying to figure out what the hell's going on the whole time. Like, what is this is so weird, right? But yeah, it's a very it's a really interesting film. As you say, it's got some man struggles with memories, including a wife he can't remember in a nightmarish world. Where no one ever seems to wake up. So yeah, if you ever watch the trailers, from back then, it's a really interesting idea for a film, basically, where they're able to move memories back and forth between people. And yes, Big Sur River says director's cut is superior. Yes, the director's cut is better. It's a better film. It moves better. It's better paced, and the mystery is there a little bit more. And yeah, they redid. I think for the new director's cut, the 4K one, they redid a few of the effects, just cleaned them up a little bit because it was made on a pretty modest budget for a film like this at the time. And yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, you should.
I'll have to check it out.
Definitely put it on the list. I don't even think 7.5 quite does it. I think it's better than that. I think it's more like 8.5.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to show you the lady now. That's the one that.
Oh, okay.
This is her.
Yeah.
She is the one that's like, I guess her mother is Irish and her father is Chinese or something like that. So that's her. That's the one. She was in those few movies.
Yes.
I didn't mind her. I thought she was fine. The funny thing now, it says that she says that I guess her preference is pan pizza preference.
Interesting. Okay.
What does that mean, by the way, pan? Is that you like everything, or
you get it where you can? That's what that
means. Again, I'm not an expert at this, Professor, but wouldn't that have been like bi? Because once you say pan, it's like, what are you trying to say exactly? You know, like who?
No. So you're okay.
Wasn't Lando in Solo pan because he liked a robot?
Yeah. It's more than just.
Does she like those Tesla
boy,
robots?
girl, boy? It's all of the other
robot.
things in there. Yeah, Tesla robot would be good. There's also polycules and other sorts of arrangements like that that she's cool with. That's what pan means. Yeah.
I don't understand all this weird stuff, Professor. I guess I feel like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon 4. Lethal Weapon 1 through 4. It's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. That's what I feel like. You know, when I was a kid and Danny Glover used to say it, I didn't understand what he meant, but now I do. Do you get what I'm saying? Like now I can identify with. I know what he meant after all these years. I finally get it.
Yep. It's basically as I said, basically she'll take it from anyone and give it to anyone or anything, frankly. I think that's just what pansexual means. Whatever gets her off at any given moment.
I see. Well, that's good to know. In any case, beyond her preferences, I'll say that, I didn't mind her in the movies. I thought she was decent enough, but don't be surprised if we don't start seeing her in more stuff,
I mean, was she particularly good?
I thought she was decent. I don't know, she wasn't fantastic. I thought she was decent. I mean, in the Tuner movie, she had a bigger role. Again, I thought she did fine. I didn't think she was like a terrible actress. Just thought she did fine. I thought that the guy in the movie, the young man that played the lead guy, I thought he did better than her, but I didn't think she was terrible. In that Tuner movie, it was also nice to see like a few other screen veterans there. Dustin Hoffman, Jean Reno. You also had that, the actress that some people may recognize from The Walking Dead, who played in, I think season 4 and 5 of The Walking Dead. In any case, what I'm saying is, what was I saying? That there were some solid actors there, and they were all probably better than that Havana Lou Rose or whatever her name is, Havana Rose Lou. But including the 3 that I told you, like the veteran ones, I thought that they were all better than her. But she wasn't terrible. I didn't watch it and think, oh, she's like a terrible actress. She was fine. I'm still trying to understand that pan thing. I don't get it. I don't know. Out of all the things somebody can be, I don't know why pan is the one that
Well, just click on the link to the
I'm afraid to click on
the article.
I'm afraid to click
and you'll find out.
I see. Okay. I think I understand. A bunch of rainbows came up. I get it. I understand, Professor. I get it.
All the rainbows.
All the rainbows. I was bombarded by rainbows.
This is it, Price. She likes to taste the rainbow. Okay, that's what it means to be pan.
Is that Skittles or is that Lucky Charms?
Skittles, yes.
Then what is it? Wasn't Lucky Charms also a rainbow?
Oh yeah, they use the
They're magically delicious, right? And something
pink hearts, green
then
clovers.
and purple horseshoes. Purple horseshoes, when they introduced it, was like
Yep.
the best thing that ever happened. They made a big fucking deal about that purple horseshoe. You know, he would like say each one. It's like this and this and this and this and purple horseshoes, and you're like, yeah, like it's the new one. It's the purple horseshoe. Totally like swindled me as a kid. Like I gotta have Lucky Charms. You know what? That campaign was fucking brilliant, Professor. Sorry, Sean.
It really was.
I didn't even like Lucky Charms. I needed those Lucky Charms because there was the purple horseshoes. What am I gonna do? I gotta eat the purple horseshoe. I don't even fucking know why. It tasted like those other shitty marshmallows that don't even taste like marshmallows to begin with. It tastes like some weird shitty thing, and it tasted like the other shitty things. But it was a purple horseshoe, and I needed to have it. And it was so underwhelming because in the cartoon, commercial, the horseshoe looks amazing when he looks like a purple horseshoe. But then in your cereal, it just looks like some little piece of crap. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like an impressive horseshoe. It looks like some stupid thing. All of his things look bad. In the commercial, they look great. And then in reality, they look crappy. They all look shitty.
Oh no, yeah. Jeez, it's been a few years since this happened, but we were on a trip. We stopped at a donut shop for the kids. Grabbed some breakfast in the morning. We're like, whatever, it's donut shop, whatever. So we go into the donut shop and they have there's tons of donuts, actually pretty good looking in the shop. But there's some over on the side where they bought the marshmallows, just the marshmallows price.
Okay.
And there's donuts that are like just glazed with like regular vanilla icing, and then they just dip them in a pile of the marshmallows from Lucky Charms. My kids were like, "We want those!" Like, oh my god! In the end, we let them get one, and they were like, "It's too much sugar. It's too sweet." Like, yeah, it's awful. Why did you pick that?
As a kid, you make some silly choices.
Oh yeah, I know. They picked it because they had never seen a donut covered in Lucky Charms marshmallows before.
I will still argue, and this goes hand in hand with what I was telling you, that I think Lucky Charms is one of the biggest cons ever. But this is apparently a commercial. Maybe they talk about the horseshoes. Let's see.
There's Lucky. Catch his Lucky Charms.
Oh no, where do I go?
Over here, Lucky.
Those kids are always after me, Lucky Charms. Part of this complete breakfast.
With marshmallow moons, hearts, and horseshoes. Horseshoes?
Aye, to help me escape, that's what I use. My magical marshmallow purple horseshoe.
To help me escape.
Still alive!
Off we go. Oh no.
Gotcha, Lucky Charms. Marshmallow horseshoes.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, Lucky Charms, man, that cereal tastes like ass.
Lucky's hiding down.
Let's see. There's another one. Let's see.
They got to fill it full of marshmallows.
Lucky's hiding down one of his colorful rolls with his delicious Lucky Charms.
Which rose? Hearts? Stars? Moons? Clovers? Diamonds? Horseshoes? Lucky, we need a clue.
Just take the road of the charm that grows.
Grows? Green clovers grow. Let's go! Yikes, got 'em! Love these marshmallowy Lucky Charms. Kind of this complete breakfast.
Smart kids. I'll send you a real four-leaf clover charm with your name on it free with 2 proofs of purchase.
They used to have the gifts and stuff for the kids.
Oh yeah, no, oh man, I had a ton of those things. We used to get we'd get the cereal box tops and stuff like that. I still have somewhere. I have a Anakin. I think it was an Anakin figure as a ghost. From the end of Return of the Jedi. There was an action figure that was like Anakin Skywalker as a ghost. And you had to send off proof of purchase to get that.
Really? I didn't know.
I
make a balloon and take off with the crunchy old cereal.
I always thought that he sounded more like sinister.
Yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers.
I don't know. He seems more relaxed. I always thought he was more of like a swindler.
Strikes!
Where are your Lucky Charms?
Right here, my friends. They're part of this good, nutritious breakfast.
Frosted Lucky Charms.
They're magically
Magically delicious. That's what I was thinking.
Magically delicious.
Oh, we have a Rumble rant from Kivo,
Indeed we
1961.
do.
Good to see you. Pull up the Austin Powers Lucky Charms scene. I can do that. There's that. Let me see for a second.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
And then they're all like laughing. That's like such a good one. Let's see.
Know the television commercial.
Here, I think this is it. Let's see if there's a longer version.
Oh, it's not showing over here.
Oh, you didn't see it?
Nope.
Okay, wait, hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on.
A superstitious man, he leaves a tiny keepsake from his good luck bracelet on every victim he killed. Paddy O'Brien, ex-Irish, Scotland Yard, get their hands on that piece of evidence.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
That was such a good character. Frau Farbissen or whatever it was. That was just such a good... Yeah, I like Tony the Tiger. They're great! Yeah, Frosted Flakes were good. I miss that whole thing. I remember... this is, again, one of those kind of early memory situations that one of the things that I remember as a kid is that there were commercials with the Flintstones that had their own cereal. Now, I liked the Flintstones. Very young age, I loved watching the Flintstones cartoon. One of the first things that I watched. Like today, children watch like these weird like Bluey or Sophia or some shit like that.
Yep.
I feel like the Flintstones was a lot more like cool than that shit. You know what I mean? So that's what I watched as a kid. Like whatever Bluey and Sophia is to people, that's what the Flintstones was probably for me. And the fact that then they had that, like I saw the Flintstones in a commercial and they were talking about a cereal. And, I was very young, but I had to understand what they were talking about. And I immediately needed that cereal. I needed that cereal immediately. And not that like, what was it like? Cocoa Pebbles? I don't even fucking know what it was.
Oh yeah, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles. See, mine was always Fruit Loops. That was the cereal I always loved as a kid. That and Cookie Crisp.
I see.
Yeah, those were the ones that I loved as a kid. But yeah, we ate all of those, man.
I ate all of them.
Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles.
Every time that was some other shit. Yeah,
all of that stuff that was awful for you. Yeah,
awful for you. I don't know why. It's strange that I was so excited about it, and like parents were buying it. It's so unhealthy. It's such a weird thing, but I don't know. As a kid, you kind of like it. I liked Cocoa Puffs. I liked that kind of Rice Krispies that they had. They had a Rice Krispies kind that was cocoa, like cocoa.
Yeah, they had
Rice
Cocoa Krispies. Yeah,
Cocoa Krispies.
Cocoa Krispies. Yeah.
I think that was one of the ones that I liked better. I liked, the ones that had Flintstones, Cocoa Pebbles, or whatever it is. Maybe Count Chocula. Maybe I had that. That was my favorite. I may have had like Captain Crunch, but I don't think I necessarily loved that. They're all shit, like you said. Sorry, Sean, but you know what I mean. Like they're all bad, but I don't know. As a kid, some of them I liked better.
We got a raid, Price. Gaming with AFB. Give us a raid. Thank you.
Oh wow, very
welcome,
nice.
Raiders.
Thank you for raiding us.
That was on YouTube. It was a raid on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Is it a gaming with AFB? Is that what you said?
Or gaming with ABF?
ABF. Oh, okay. Yeah, Alec Baldwin's finger.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. I like him. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Very, very nice of you.
Yeah.
I'm still sorry. I feel like I probably chased Mr. Tech Rat away. That wasn't tactful of me. I wasn't. I was ill prepared, and I probably made and put my foot in my mouth. So sorry about that, Mr. Tech Rat. But I do appreciate the ABF stream raid. It's always nice. And in any case, what was I going to say? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Folsom Lockdown says, now Cinnamon Toast Crunch came at a later stage, and I considered it, once it came out, I considered that a little more of a quality cereal. Again, it's probably shit, but I thought it was a bit better. Later on, there would also be these like Quaker Oats squares, which for some reason I thought, oh, this is like the healthy stuff. Probably not healthy either, but I thought that the Quaker Oats square was like a healthier one. Was it healthier, Professor?
I mean, it was still packed full of sugar, I'm guessing, but yeah, that was one that we had like mini like just shredded wheats or whatever that like had, but they were like frosted, covered in sugar. So yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, there were a bunch of those in the 80s. That there was like later on they introduced marshmallow, like Rice Krispies were actually sort of healthy, and then they introduced Marshmallow Krispies.
Right. They knew they had to compete. Yeah.
And then there was I'm looking at a list here, like different time frame stuff that was introduced. Of course, we had in the 80s is when they really started to lock down the every single kids movie that comes out, every popular thing that comes out, we have to have food to go with it. So you got Ghostbusters cereal and Smurf cereal and Rainbow Bright cereal and E.T. cereal. Absolutely everything that came out had to have a cereal. There was a Pac-Man cereal. You know?
Yeah, they love that cereal shit.
There were so many of those. Actually, I have a box of unopened cereal up here in my
from what year?
As a collectible. Well, it was from see what year. Well, it's a box of Krusty O's that came out with the Simpsons movie years ago.
You know what? Keep it. Maybe somebody would buy it.
A friend bought for me because it was available at 7-Eleven. We didn't have any 7-Elevens around because they turned the 7-Elevens into Quickie Marts.
Okay, I want to check for a second. What was it called? Krusty O's?
Yeah, Simpsons movie Krusty O's. See if it's worth anything.
It's probably worth like $1 million.
No, I'm bet it's worth hardly anything. But yeah, okay. It was because he knew I was a huge Simpsons fan, and he found that he was like, this was the perfect thing for you, Krusty O's. There you go.
Okay. You know, let me see for a second. So you have Krusty O's $29. It's not that good.
Nah.
They sealed. They never opened it, and it's $29.99. You think it would have been better, but I guess it is what it is. I'm trying to think.
Mine's an unopened box, but the box was dented just from transportation. So
I recently posted something that I had like this. I think I answered like Drunk 3PO's post about having collectibles, Star Wars collectibles, and now I can't find it anymore. I took a picture of that thing that I have, and I want to know how much it's worth. Shoot. No, I can't find it, Professor.
Oh, Deacon Batista mentions Boo Berry. Oh, yeah. Boo Berry.
That one with like Count Chocula.
Yeah, there's Count Chocula and Boo Berry and Yummy Mummy, and there was like a ghost one. Yeah.
I can't seem to find this thing. Where is it, Professor? I had this thing.
And then all of them remind me of the SNL skit where you have Jim Belushi eating little chocolate donuts, which are this like that's supposed to be the meal that all the athletes eat instead of Wheaties. Little chocolate donuts.
So This is what I was saying. I had the Super 8 version of Star Wars. I still have it. I took this picture a few weeks ago or a month ago, whenever it was, on May 5th. Yeah. So I took the picture on that day of what I have it in a drawer. I took it out, took a picture of it, and I posted it in response to Drunk 3PO's tweet about this thing that he had. And I'm wondering, how much is this worth, Professor?
Star Wars on Super 8? Man, I don't know.
Let me see. I'm checking right now. Star
Is
Wars.
that the full movie? Is it multiple reels?
It's not. It's one reel, and I feel like they took the whole movie, edited it down to like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
and,
See,
like,
that's I remember. So my it was funny. Not long before my father passed away when I was a kid. We had been going through my grandparents' like storage space that they had, and found a whole collection of Super 8 stuff that they had from when he was younger. And he actually found somebody who had rented him a Super 8 projector, and we watched a ton of stuff that we had on there. But there were old family films, but there were also a bunch of commercial stuff that they had bought, like Tom and Jerry cartoons and stuff like that. We did not have an 8mm of Star Wars. God, if we did, I would have held on to that for dear life. But they had a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. So.
And black and white. Selected scenes, black and white. $70. Huh.
Let me see for a second.
Hmm.
So I have is this black and white or color? No, this is black and white. I had a color one. How much is the color one?
I don't know.
Gotta find out. This one, I want to say color. Let me put in color. See, this one, I thought I clicked. Okay. Color sound, $69.99 or better offer. Oh well.
Maybe they're not that rare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like your cereal. I have Empire Strikes Back VHS. Maybe it's like the 1984 one. That's not good. I guess none of my.
I think if you have one of those that's like in the original shrink wrap or something, like unopened, it's probably worth a pretty penny. But if it's open, there are thousands and thousands of those.
Well, I'll tell you what I have from what I recall, and I haven't looked at it in a minute. I think that it has the shrink wrap on it, but they opened the shrink wrap at the bottom to be able to take out the cassette. So it's restored pretty nicely because the shrink wrap is still there covering most of the thing, but the fact that the video cassette goes in and out, so maybe it would be like a few extra dollars, but it wouldn't be anything special.
Yeah, it's like if it's sealed. So that one says sealed, so
Sealed.
$179, $299 perhaps.
So vintage 1984 Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back VHS sealed. Watermarks red tape. What does that mean? Watermarks
red. I think that means that it's the actual tape cartridge itself is red plastic, maybe, or
okay.
Or there's a different label on it. This
seems pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I I'm not gonna buy it, but I wouldn't fault anybody if they're like, "Fuck it, I'm buying this." Like, I could see myself, in a moment of weakness buying nonsense like this. This Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back sealed VHS 1984 hi-fi red label with seal. It's pretty good. Looks pretty darn good. Is this graded or no? It's just sealed. Sorry, I thought it was graded, which would have been pretty cool. These are nice. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of like this. You know what I have? I think I have a trailer. You won't believe me. You know how in the movie theater they used to show like reels of film? I don't think they do that anymore. You know how they showed reels of film?
Yeah.
I don't know why I have this, but I think I have the trailer for Revenge of the Sith on a movie reel. Like I have
yeah.
Let me see for a second.
Yeah, you can actually. Those are actually not hard to buy on eBay. I was actually looking at one at one point because we were doing some decorating, and one of the things we thought we were going to do is maybe like a collage of movie reels, like on the wall, like stuck up, in our movie area, in our film area, and yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Well, it says buy it now, $325. So maybe it's worth something. See, anything that's like, that you have a trailer like that seems to be going up in value. I certainly didn't pay $335 for it. I probably paid like tens of dollars for it. But maybe that's gone up in value. That's nice to, how do they describe it? How do they describe it? I want to see. 35 millimeter. That's what we're going to do. Revenge of the Sith, trailer 35 millimeter. There aren't that many of them. I think I got something pretty good here, Professor.
Yep.
Attack of the Clone, $401.
Yeah, a few $100 at least. Yeah. I saw there was a thing in there that had a Revenge of the Jedi logo on it. Yeah, I've got a friend that has some Revenge of the Jedi merch.
You know what?
He's cornered over the years.
I'm going to do something very naughty now, Professor. If you give me 1 minute and tell some jokes or go over some topic you'd like to discuss for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to try to find my trailer. I want to take a quick picture of it and show what it is because I don't even remember. I remember this is something like years ago. I think I got it, and I don't even know why. I think I was just probably looking on eBay at collectibles and stuff, and this is years ago. This isn't like yesterday, you know what I mean? So I probably looked around, and at the time, Star Wars wasn't what it is today. Like, I still really liked it. Not that I hate it now, but, I don't like what they're doing it with that, and you know what I'm trying to say. So at the time, I guess what I'm saying is that at the time I was looking for cool stuff like collectibles, and I ran into this trailer thing. I'm like, whoa, a 35 millimeter trailer for this. It's so funny because like, what am I even going to do with it? Like, I don't even know why I bought it. Just aside from the fact that like, I'm an idiot. I don't know any other reason why I bought it, but yeah. Okay. You go over whatever you wanted to go over, and I'll be back.
You go find your thing.
I'm gonna go find it. I'm finding it now, guys. This is a real thing right now. This is like while you're waiting, I'm gonna go find this trailer. I'm taking a picture and I'm gonna upload it. So give me a second. Serious things are happening here at the Night Owl.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's a single reel of Super 8 can be as long as 30 minutes. I know. I still have porn on Super 8. Good God. Thanks. Didn't need to know that, but it's so we're starting to get early reviews. Whenever Price is here, we'll definitely talk about. I want to ask him if he's planning to see this the next couple days. Disclosure Day, we're starting to get early reviews of this. Spielberg wraps new and Close Encounters into a masterful 70s style thriller that demands complex answers to otherworldly mysteries. So starting to get some of these early reviews, and I'm curious actually as to what we're seeing on Rotten Tomatoes from those reviewers, because I don't know. This honestly, I'm not excited about this movie. Not sure that this is something that I'm all that interested in. Spielberg has not been all that consistent in recent years, as from what I have seen, from the films that have been out there, from the stuff he's been producing, the reviews he's been getting. He's been very inconsistent. And I don't think he's shown the same brilliance that he had back in the 80s and the 90s from his films. So Disclosure Day, although it feels like a return to form because he's going back to doing aliens, he's going back to doing these mysteries and stuff, it just feels, I don't know, it just feels empty. I can't tell you exactly what it is about this film that it just doesn't feel like it's going to be all that fantastic. Right now we've got 85%, but let's first few reviews here. Let's see, YouTube reviewer Joe Robinson, featuring a mix of tones, corny dialogue, a melange of odd characterizations. Disclosure Day feels like it could have gone so much deeper, considering the runtime. Well, it is 2.5 hours long. That's not good. Coda Rob says Chris Gore on Gary's Nooner said it's a thumbs down. Yeah, Chris Gore did not sound very positive on this. Disclosure Day straddles a line of not being fun enough for a summer blockbuster or serious enough for a meaningful drama, settling somewhere in the range of slightly better than ordinary. That's not what you want from a Spielberg film, right? You want something that's going to capture the imagination. You want something that's going to thrill you. This is, just slightly better than ordinary. Not really going to move the needle for me, but let's see. That's a 6 out of 10. Interesting. Usually they count a 6 out of 10 as a fresh, but not here. Totally Medley 9 out of 10. Hugely implausible, but wildly entertaining. Sharply acted and unusually well paced. Interesting that some of these things seem to be a little bit at odds. So I guess this is one of those that is definitely going to come down to to your perceptions of the movie. But characters felt too one-dimensional most of the time to invest in. The action was passable but never breathtaking, and the failure to make more hay out of its core appeal as a story, the discovery of alien life, was utterly confounding. That's from Jeff York. So another one not really buying into the appeal of this movie here. Sinead Brennan from Ireland, RTE Ireland. Disclosure Day is everything you want and can expect from a Spielberg film involving aliens. Thrilling, intriguing, visually exciting, but also full of empathy and poses important questions about the human condition. Oh, important questions about the human condition. Not sure that that's really making me jump out to see this one, but okay. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Isfobo says, not impressed by the trailers, especially his comments. Bakes a River. I will just watch Close Encounters again. Yeah, we have Close Encounters at home, right? Yes, Chris Gore said that the did have some things to say that the ending was rather disappointing in the film. So, yeah. Doug Jameson, we get a 3.5 out of 5. Flawed but absorbing work from a master filmmaker wrestling with belief, secrecy, and the terrifying possibility that the truth may not set us free so much as remake us entirely. That is one thing. He mentions, belief there. That's one thing that some people have been talking about, that there's some stuff happening, and it's about people questioning their faith. Specifically, if you've seen shots of like nuns, right? People questioning their faith because of the discovery of aliens. I'm not entirely sure that the existence of those things are in fact exclusive to each other. Certainly wouldn't be for me. I think for a lot of people would not be, but interesting if they do explore that. Let's see here.
What are you looking at?
Looking at some reviews for Disclosure Day, since those started dropping today. So
are they saying it sucks?
Is this something you're going to try and see before Thursday, Bryce?
I want to see it, but I have a feeling it's not going to be good. But I like Spielberg. It's just, I hate to say it, but I always think of what Tarantino says, that sometimes at a certain age, maybe you make movies and they're not that good. And I think that Steven Spielberg is brilliant, but I don't know about this movie.
Yeah. Chris Gore did not have good things to say about it when he was talking about it earlier, some of his streams, and he was on the Nooner today talking about it. Just looking at a few of these reviews. Yeah, right now it's the top critics. We'll jump to top critics here. Disclosure Day takes a big game about the meaningful questions it wants to explore and the enigmatic enigmatic connections it wants to draw between its ensemble. In the end, however, there's no actual messy human heart to be found at its center. So C- gives that one a rotten on that one. The Observer UK, while this is not a top-tier Spielberg movie, it is still an archetypal one, both stylish and sincere, hopeful and hokey. See, that's not selling to me, man. That's not selling this movie to me at all.
No, it doesn't sound all that good.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, Spielberg, I love his work, but man, it has just not been... it has not been good of recent years, right? And just because, it's Spielberg returning to Aliens. He's doing Aliens again. It's like, as Big Sir ever said, basically, we have Close Encounters at home. We can just watch that anytime we want. We don't need yet another take on Spielberg. Disclosure Days from David Sims of The Atlantic. Disclosure Days' epic conclusion comes across as if Spielberg is sending the audience a message begging them to use their hearts and heads too. I loved every second. Oh, okay.
Well, at least somebody liked it.
Yep. I don't know. Do you have your picture to share with us now,
I do
Price?
have my picture.
Okay.
I hope everybody's ready. This is the big moment that everybody's been waiting for. I know there's a lot of suspense here and a lot of people that are very excited. It's so silly. I actually feel like when I look at it now, there's something about my trailer that probably makes it lose money. But are you ready?
Yeah, it was what do you think is going to make it lose money?
I'll show you in a second. You're totally going to get it in a second. Like you'll understand exactly what I mean. So this is my collection that I was telling you about. This is me, and this is the Color Sound Star Wars Super 8. That's my Empire Strikes Back with the nylon, but without the, it's not sealed. And then it says Star Wars Episode 3 with Meet the Fockers. Why do I have a trailer of Star Wars Episode 3 with Meet the Fockers? I want to see Star Wars Episode 3. That's cool. And it's sealed, and I'm happy about that. Why do I have Meet the Fockers, though?
I thought you were going to tell me it was signed by Hayden Christensen, and that was going to lower the value.
No, that wouldn't lower the value. If it was signed by, Kathleen Kennedy, maybe it would have lowered it, but I don't think he's going to lower it. But yeah, it says with Meet the Fockers, but I do have it, see? So altogether, I'd say that these three things, that cassette, maybe because of the nylon.
So look at the side of the cassette, Price. Does it have CBS Fox printed in red at the top?
It's printed in white at the top. Is that
okay?
Bad?
So no. So the one that has it printed in red, that's what they were talking about with the red label. That's the one that's the rarer version. That's the very first printing of The Empire Strikes Back. Had the CBS Fox on the spine printed in red.
I did everything wrong, Professor.
Yeah. No, you didn't do it.
Just got a run of the mill thing, but I only probably paid a few dollars for it. So that's you get what you pay for it. I was going to say you pay what you get for it, but that wouldn't make sense. But the Super 8 probably, I probably bought it and it's probably worth $20 more.
Color and sound,
yeah, I probably bought it for $20 or $30. Now it's like $69. So that's not really a big deal. The trailer, I think I bought for very little. And now I have a feeling that this may go for a few $100s. The tape, because of that nylon, at best, $10 to $20 tops. So my strange collection of collectibles isn't looking so collectible now.
I'm looking to see if your Meet the Fockers one is worth anything.
Does anybody even know what this is? Why do I have Meet the Fockers on it? I'm such a weirdo. So, hold on one second. Somebody gave us a super chat and I didn't notice it. So I want to address that. Are you still there, Professor?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Still admiring the Meet the Fockers.
It looks like
It's worth negative $300. Whoever has that one has to pay a penalty.
It's listing like $25 is what I see.
Oh well.
A loose 35 millimeter reel, like
what if it's sealed?
Let's see. Let's see.
So we have a super chat here that says, "Is ABF a prostate exam?" I'm not sure I understand what that means. I don't get it. 44 Magnum Norse, but thank you for the $5.
Alec Baldwin's finger.
Yes.
Prostate exam, maybe. I think that's what.
I see.
You're getting a digital exam.
I got you now. Sorry, it's a late hour. Thank you.
From a
45
finger.
Magnum Norse. I appreciate it. Revenge of the Fockers. Yeah. So if it's sealed, is it worth anything more than the $20-something? Sealed. Revenge.
I'm just seeing, many. It's not giving me anything in this AI summary. You'd have to look and see if they found one on eBay that was specifically a match for that one.
I don't think they have, and maybe it's so,
When I was looking at the AI summary, it was like the addition of Meet the Fockers is not a significant value booster. No, it is not. Agreed.
Wait, here, we got it. I got it. Fuck
Somebody
yeah.
has one.
Somebody has one. Are you ready?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Are you ready?
Sure.
35 millimeter film trailer, Star Wars 3 Revenge of the Sith mint, and he tries to make it so you don't see the Meet the Fockers, but I can see it. And it says $250 US. And he's expecting bidding. If you want to buy it now, he wants $325. And it's never been
Canadian,
used.
So
it's never been used. So I feel like, I did a good deal with this one, Professor. I think I only bought it for probably like $20 or something. This is good. I finally did something good, Professor. It's $325 US, but in Canadian dollars, it's $453.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So hopefully some people have been impressed here. I think that a lot of people have watched my collection, and I've genuinely impressed them, Professor. I like how he tried to hide the Meet the Fockers. That's the best part of this whole thing. It's like, fuck, there's Meet the Fockers. I'll never sell this thing. Like nobody, there's no...
That's a beloved Ben Stiller film. What are you talking about?
Compared to some of the shit that he would do in later years, that movie was still watchable. Same with De Niro. I mean, I still think that the first Meet the Parents is the only one that kind of has maybe more merit. I think that one was like a decent comedy for its time. Meet the Fockers, I do like the addition of like Dustin Hoffman in Meet the Fockers. So if there was ever like a saving grace to it, I thought that, Dustin Hoffman was surprisingly funny in it. But yeah, I don't know. I remember watching it in the theater, and I didn't hate Meet the Fockers in the theater. But it's not exactly quality filmmaking,
They're still making that film series, right?
They just made a new one, like the Baby Fockers or something. I don't know.
Focker-in-Law.
So stupid.
Yeah. Though the previous, there was Meet the Parents, which genuinely, it's a pretty funny comedy. It's not my favorite, but it was funny. I enjoyed it. But then, Meet the Fockers. I'm not even sure I didn't see that one in the theater. I know I didn't. I think maybe I saw it on HBO or something years later. Never saw the follow-up to that, Little Fockers. Never saw that one. Have no interest whatsoever at seeing Focker-in-Law.
Ista, I saw your DM and I just sent you a DM. So if you're still awake, you're welcome to look at it. In any case,
he's going to bring his Super 8 is of pornography onto the show.
he has a lot of pornography.
Prawns.
He has a lot of
Super 8 prawns.
He still watches those Super 8s until today, Estefobos, from what I've been told. In any case, I did send him a DM, but I have a feeling that he fell asleep. Oh, no, maybe he didn't fall asleep. In any case, Ista, you're welcome to join us. Sometimes Ista, in the middle of the show, he'll like send me all these articles and write all this stuff, and it's like I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm just like, here, just here's here's an invite. Just tell me in person. I don't know what it is. Just don't say anything that'll get us in trouble in any way. That's all I ask. Like, don't say some weird thing that I have to later quickly and quietly delete from our stream. Something that has happened before.
Well,
oh wait, I think he's here. Hold on.
What else? Is he?
I think so. I think he's here in the background.
It's here. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. But I can't see you. You didn't do the bear with the cigars or whatever.
Oh, here we go. It didn't click. Hey, in my defense, I sent you those articles way early today, several hours before your show.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, I didn't realize, and suddenly I looked. I thought you sent them now. Ista had some kind of breaking news about Lego videos or something. You want to tell us what that's about?
Yeah, there were a couple extraordinary things that happened today. We're sort of kind of up to speed on the whole Lego thing with Reckless Ben, right? And the Bricks and Minifigures company.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, we must have talked about it on a different stream. So there's this guy named Brian Mansell. His father had one of the world's largest Star Wars Lego collections. And he got ill, so the son was going to sell it. And he took it to a store in Oregon called Bricks and Minifigures. Put it on consignment. But the people who own that franchise kind of got their store taken away from them by some new owners who basically stole the Legos. Not all of them. Best guess I can tell is around $100,000 worth of Legos left. And the guy tried for like a year and a half to get his Lego sets back. He finally hooked up with a YouTuber called Reckless Ben, who went on the most amazing, epic video harassment campaign in the world. He sent in secret people to find out. He made a lottery and they split up the Legos and they tried to 10 different people came and tried to each sue for $10,000 worth of Legos. The thing is, it's all documented on video and it looks like the company is super scammy. And then like they sent the police after him when they were in Oregon. Then they went to Utah where the franchise owner lives. They were staying in a B&B, Airbnb, and they were trying to serve him a civil lawsuit, like personal civil lawsuit. They tried suing the company and then the store shut down. And the guy called the cops on him. And I guess it looks like it's a small town in Utah called American Fork. And everybody kind of knows everybody else. So the cops kept pulling him over, even though he wasn't doing anything illegal. And eventually they swatted him and raided the Airbnb with automatic weapons and a team of SWAT people. It was crazy. He was arrested several times. He has a couple really epic and entertaining videos about the whole situation. I can't believe you haven't seen it because it's been the single most talked about thing on YouTube for like a week now. And the guy's videos are really funny. There's a lot of other nuances about the case. There's Bricks and Minifigures corporate, then there's the franchise owners. But it looks like everybody and the cops, they're all kind of really tight in this little Utah town. And they sort of went on a, police harassment and possibly alleged corruption campaign against Reckless Ben. And this thing, if you just Google it, just Google Lego Gate or Lego Scandal or Reckless Ben. But today, and he also put up a GoFundMe for the guy, you know, with all the YouTuber drama and the craziness, it's easy to forget. Oh yeah, there's a nice guy and his very sick dad trying to sell their Legos to meet their medical bills. So he put up a GoFundMe and it got up to like $400,000. And then Bricks and Minifigs corporate is trying to take the GoFundMe away from them, claiming, oh, his videos damaged our corporate reputation and we need that money to, you know, to make up for it. It's been really horrible PR for the company. And the thing is, the different franchise owners, different stores, there's like 350 across the country of these Bricks and Minifig stores. Most of them are owned by independent franchisees, but franchisers. People are going crazy. And they're vandalizing stores and they're just going into whatever their local Bricks and Minifigs is and like harassing the people, screaming, picketing, breaking stuff. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers. Most of those people haven't had much to do, you know, they had zero to do with this, but they actually have problems with the way corporate is treating them as well. So all these stories have been coming out. It's really worth, just Google Reckless Ben. You can see his first video is, and you better see it before it gets taken down. Because the big thing about this that got my attention was the police harassment. And so this guy videotapes everything. Reckless. Everybody has GoPros. You can see his team. You can see the police pulling him over, searching his car for heroin for like 2.5 hours. And then they're just making up charges. And when he went to get the body cam from the police, they redacted most of the audio. And so, but he had some audio of his own, but, and when he asked him why, it's like, oh, it's to protect the privacy of the victim, but there is no victim there. There's nobody's privacy. But then somebody in the, American Fork is the town, the police department accidentally set the Dropbox to public. So there's 80 gigabytes of unredacted body cam footage that a bunch of people downloaded like immediately and saved before they noticed and turned it back to private. So now you can hear the police colluding and trying to scare the guy and making up charges and doing all this other stuff. In the meantime,
allegedly.
Well, I mean, the video's there, but of course, allegedly. The CEO did a couple of interviews where he came across as very, very shady. And there's a connection that I hesitate to bring up because I really don't think all of these people involved seem to go to the same university together. It was Brigham Young University.
Yes.
And so, you know, it does look like I'm not saying it's everybody who happens to be a member of that church, but it really does look like there's a small group of cronies that are, and then it turns out that the new franchise owners that allegedly stole the original store from the original franchise owners, and they seem good people. They have everything documented on video too. That's the thing. The CEO comes out and he says all this stuff, and immediately there's video that is contradicting what he's saying. There's the contracts and the franchise agreements that also seem to contradict. Like, he's saying, well, we don't allow consignments, so I don't see how that could be the case. We don't have any Legos. But then the corporate is actually promoting those Lego sets on their like webpage. It's like, what do you mean? The sets are right there. And then he's like, we offer consignment services, not consignment products. And it's just this really horrible, and actually, you know, selling somebody's Lego set is actually a consignment service. That is not a consignment product. There's been a bunch of legal analysis, and for some reason I'm sort of addicted to what's going on. So I followed this for about a week, and the PR damage, I mean, it looked crazy. Plus all these other stories about sort of the corporate malfeasance have come out.
Mm-hmm.
But then the police officers and the police chief gave a conference too. It's really horrible. They went to a judge who also seems to be a friend of theirs, and they got a gag order, but they got it by saying stuff that very likely wasn't true. It was a full cease and desist gag order. So if you know anything about the law, prior restraint is like probably it's one of the most serious things like that can be done from the bench, because it basically it goes against your First Amendment rights, and it presumes that you're guilty before innocent, and it is actually shutting down free speech. They put a gag order on the guy without even hearing their side, and they tried to get his Patreon taken down. They tried to get his GoFundMe taken down. And the CEO of Patreon actually made a video addressing Bricks and Minifigs, and he told them to go fuck themselves. So, but there were finally also allegedly reckless Ben fled to Mexico. I think that was part of a joke. Listen, the guy is very colorful and entertaining. So you sort of have to, he does a lot of, he truly is kind of reckless. But he said, you know, his desire, he wanted to show, you know, just how poorly behaved some of these corporations were. As it turns out, allegedly, it looks like maybe the police and the legal system now are involved. So when a judge uses the gag order without even hearing from the other side, that's pretty serious stuff. But this morning, I guess they were able to serve Reckless Ben via email. And so now he can't talk about it. He can't put up any new videos. I don't know if his old videos are going to be taken down. And his GoFundMe, which was at 400 grand for the guy's dying father, was actually taken down. Now, it is a temporary restraining order, and I doubt it will hold once they have a hearing. I don't know how long that's going to be. But in the meantime, we have leaked body cam footage. We have leaked corporate memos that show how they're going to basically, says they have some internet experts. Oh, this will be bad for like 7 days, and then it'll start to bleed off. You don't have to worry. But man, this has been going on for weeks, and the publicity is absolutely terrible. You know, it's... So, but for right now, the GoFundMe was just taken down and people are up in arms about it. You can go check that out on Twitter. Everybody involved just posted a video, a very cryptic short one saying it looks like we lost. They really haven't lost, but like for now, there's not going to be any new stuff except every legal channel on the internet has done very in-depth analysis of what's going on here, which is why I know some of the stuff I know. I've been watching it. So, right now, it looks like, you know, a multi-million-dollar corporation is spending tens of millions of dollars to screw over a little guy over $200,000 worth of Legos. But now they're also going after the YouTubers. So the new development today was that they actually did enact the prior restraint gag order, which, yeah, if you ever follow legals, that's very rare. It's almost completely unheard of to actually completely silence somebody without representation, ex parte, when they're not even in the room when the order was filed. So that's pretty much the state of that right now. Questions?
It's so crazy. And the funny thing is, I mean, seriously, at this point, I feel incredibly bad for a bunch of the franchisees who run these stores. This corporation is screwed. The stores are screwed. This has ruined, it has destroyed this business, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But I feel really bad for the franchisees who had nothing to do with this decision, nothing to do with how this is run. They run their own stores. Literally, they're paying money to the corporation for for some logos and a name to put on the outside of the building, and then they run their store. But you're going to see very quickly there's going to be a bunch of these businesses that are going to tear down all that stuff. They're going to start running their own independent stores. They're going to want nothing to do with this company, and again, rightly so.
Yeah, many of the individual franchises.
Quickly, I just want to say that I think I saw Ian and Jill around on different things watching us. So I send you both an invite, Jill and Ian, the Mega Geek, if you're around, although you could be just passing by, but I did send you invites.
Oh, hey, Jill. Hey, Ian, come on. many of the franchise owners have actually said we've had our own problems with corporate. They're kind of janking us around because the original accusation is from why am I having so much trouble with that term, franchisee?
Yeah, there you go.
The first owners of the store claim that corporate actually basically took their store away. They came in the middle of the night with no notice, with a bunch of guys, locked the doors, kicked them out. And that's when they said, well, she's like, listen, I've got a huge consignment here. I need to take inventory. How do I know what to pay them? And they're like, we've got all that handled. Now get out or we're calling the police. Several times on the phone, representatives from Bricks and Minifigs said, oh, you can try to take us to court, but we will bury you. We will burn you. You will spend so much on legal counsel, 10 times the amount, that we're basically stealing from you now. I mean, they look so terrible in this. And some who's really benefiting are other independent Lego resellers and chains. They're actually starting to advertise, come on in, we're not Bricks and Minifigs, which is just like cracks. It's like, hey, we're not Burger King, come eat here kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, the guy still, all they had to do was write the guy a check. It wasn't even for 200,000, for 100,000. But I think it looks like one of the motives might have been to give their friends a Lego franchise that already has 200 grand worth of Lego inventory in there that they could take for free and start on. I mean, it really does look like some serious cronyism involving the judge, the police, allegedly. And, because this just can't, I found this a couple of days ago. The guy from Utah, his name is Joshua Johnson. He was the new franchise owner. And the CEO of the corporate store, this guy named, oh God, it's Ammon something. They were actually, they were not mercenaries. When you go and go door to door, missionaries. They were missionaries together like 25 years ago. So man, they are close. They are the best of friends. They used to knock on doors together and all this stuff. And there's like, hey, you want your own Lego store where you can kick these guys out and hand it over to you, allegedly. But the thing is, all of this stuff is on video. So it's really going to be interesting when a court works all this out. And Lego BAM Corporate, they hired Denton's law firm, which is the biggest law firm in the world. So they are spending millions on this when all they had to do was write the guy a check for like 100,000, 150,000. And now their company is on fire.
Yeah, it's ruined forever. They cannot recover from this.
Yeah. It reminds me of that Joe, what's his name? Joe Exotic meme. I'm never going to recover from this financially.
That's the Tiger King guy?
Yeah.
So one of the things Reckless Ben did is he created his own corporation called We Steal From Old People, but he used the Bricks and Minifigs logo. You can actually go westealfromoldpeople.com and buy a t-shirt. They tried to transfer ownership of the Legos to a bunch of people and all file small claims. But basically the company had sort of a hidden name, so the lawsuit ended up being dismissed. But they also printed this huge sign with their logo. It shows the Bricks and Minifigs brick, but then a cat burglar, old style, hamburglar style. We Steal From Old People, and they hung it up across the store. This is like a giant sign, and they had permission from the person who owned the wall or the fence where they hung the sign. And that's where the police start getting involved. Now, some of his actions definitely could seem to qualify for harassment, but if you take into account, what the other guys are doing, there's certainly mitigating factors on both sides. I'm just saying the amount of pranks and attempts this Reckless Ben, his name's Ben Schneider. He's got like 1.2 million subs on YouTube, plus, streams the Kick and Twitch and all that. So Like he has a massive amount of followers. So there's basically, he's got fans in every city where there's one of these stores, which is why it's kind of been a little bit crazy there.
Well, and people are just outraged about it. I mean,
yeah.
But you know, that's what we do on the internet today is we find things to be outraged about. So,
well, yeah, that's the thing. BAM Corporate, they're trying this in the courts. But Ben was trying it on the internet, and that's different. However, they shut him down in a very oddly, allegedly unconstitutional move that I don't think is going to hold up. Like, he's got another video ready to go, and he posted this sad little 5-minute thing saying, I can't post it or I will automatically go to jail. And I don't know what's up with the GoFundMe, if the money gets refunded back to the donators, or if the money, I don't see how they can't get the money, bricks and minifigs, at least without a judicial decision here. That doesn't make any sense. But the American Fork Police Department, they filed RICO charges against the YouTube guy. They came up with all of this basically lawfare that they're throwing against him. They're even suing the guy whose Legos were stolen, Brian Manzel and his dad, which seems to me like, how can you look at yourself in the mirror when you're doing that kind of stuff? And then like just the guy's editors and camera people and the guy who drove him, to Oregon. And then the Utah police contacted the LA police and tried to get them, because that's where Ben's from, and tried to get them to start harassing the guy, allegedly. So, I mean, this is incredibly sketchy, shady behavior, pretty much from everybody in the case, except for the guy whose Legos were stolen.
Well, speaking of shady behavior, and again, we're going to be very careful talking about this subject because we're on a few different platforms. But right now in Los Angeles, there's shady things seemingly happening. We're not sure. It would seem that way, but we don't know. Here at Price of Reason Studios, we don't know much of anything. And we're not trying to, we're speculating at this point, and our speculation is probably wrong. Now,
we
know math, right, Professor? We can, we know
statistics, normal distributions, those kinds of things would seem to point to something not
possible,
not mathematically possible.
Yes, statistically improbable to the point
highly
where
unlikely.
It's impossible. Yes. Yeah. Just saying, please continue.
Yep.
Bryce.
Somebody wrote to me. I just want to show this. Let's look at this for a second. You still have the best low-tech intro I ever heard from a content creator, and that puppet head still gets me. LOL. Real life Fake Wiz and you should stream together at some point. Cool. Here.
Very
I put a
cool.
like on it. What was I going to say? I don't know. What intro? Do we even have an intro to this show? I think we don't do anything. What's our intro that we say? Welcome to the Night Owl.
Welcome to the Night Owl.
I thought it was the song you sing on your other channel. I am just an awesome guy.
Well, that one,
that's
I
outro.
actually, that's the outro. Okay, to be fair, that used to be the intro and the outro, and it was a different version. It was like an abbreviated version of it that I sang it once, like at the beginning, and then at the end you have it again. Over time, it became clear to me that, in our day and age in YouTube, you don't really want to do a long intro. So you just jump right into the video. So I converted the intro and made it so that the outro is just the intro and that's it. And then I put the revamped outro that was actually made for the live stream channel. But I put it and people seemed to like it, so I left it there. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I think I think this person meant the thing that we say at the beginning of the Night Owl. That is a pretty low-tech intro.
We don't have a 3.5 minute video. Just
yeah, no, there's nothing going on. It's really
it's just hello and welcome.
Yeah, I love the channels that are like, hey, we start on time every time, except they play a 15-minute long intro video
or longer.
Yeah, and it's like, you started on time, but you weren't actually like in the chair.
Well, this is the thing. This is the part that I think is weird. That it would be one thing. Let's say supposedly what we're being told, and again, I'm speculating. I'm not an expert, and I don't know what I'm talking about. We're being told that basically a lot of people that are Democrats, they like to mail in their vote. Okay, so if they want to mail in their vote, theoretically, you would have seen Karen Bass and Raman go up in a sort of similar way, let's say. So they're
Yep.
all both getting some votes, supposedly, if this is true, which one could still question back. But let's just say we're not questioning, and we accepted that at face value. Both Bass and Raman should have been rising versus Pratt, if we're going to believe this this theory that they're presenting to us. The problem is, once like Karen Bass is pretty much like flatlining, and Spencer Pratt is diminishing, and Raman is skyrocketing, it kind of doesn't look like that's what's happening. And that's the part that seems the most fishy. Now, it could be like just like a guy can win the lottery. There's always, I guess, a chance that something like this could happen, however unlikely, like winning the lottery probably. But if you had, and this is just my 2 cents, if you had proper elections like in every other country, including like third world countries, where you show the ID and you vote on the same day, nobody would be questioning whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? It leaves all the speculation out of the equation because you do it proper, like any other civilized place. The idea that like a month later you could still be finding ballots is like, let's say even if everything was above board, that is a recipe for disaster, even in like the bright scenario that everything is above board. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
yeah, except California has a lock on the election. Like, they even passed a law against being audited by like the federal government, so nobody
Yep.
can even go in and check. And the thing is, what you say looks fishy is statistically impossible.
Yeah, and so now, of course, that the data that you were showing their prices is a little bit out of date. Now, according to their count now, yes, Raman has surpassed Spencer Pratt, and now it will be Bass and Raman in the election. So here's the thing. I would put down good money. We saw this. Oh, well, no, you don't understand. All of these young people and these people, there was a big surge of mail-in votes that were all sent, and they were, sent in the last couple of days. As her campaign was really starting to take off, except it wasn't. She was still polling terribly. We're going to see the votes for this, right? And we will see the actual vote that comes in for Bass and for Raman. And I guarantee she will not have a percentage that looks anything like the percentage that they're saying she got in this runoff election, in this primary election, to put her in here. It is going to be like a 70% for Bass.
Oh, unless the Democrats decide it's time to get rid of Bass, in which case the same pattern could repeat in the general election, where it looks like Bass wins, and then 3 weeks later get a 75% surge in Nithya Raman votes that come in 2-3 weeks later. Like,
yeah, but maybe, see, that would be even fishier.
Oh, I know.
Than what they have now, right?
Well, it would be equally fishy, I think. But there's a possibility who's ever in charge of the Democrat machine allegedly has had enough of Bass, or thinks she's a liability, and they want to go. I mean, because Spencer's campaign was devastating. It really made Bass look really bad. And I'm wondering,
something about it just seems odd to me. Like, okay, I didn't actually think that Pratt would overthrow Bass, but the fact that he seemed to be very, very much ahead of Raman, really, that seemed like the sentiment. You know what I mean? Like, I really thought, and especially after her debate and all these different things, she seemed like she wasn't able to get to where she is now. And the fact that it all happened with these like mailbox dumps last minute, if nothing else, it seems odd. I mean, if, like I said, if let's say this is a miracle that it happened to her and all that stuff, if they would have just done what every normal place does, where you come the same day, you show the ID, if that would have happened, they would have said all the votes are for Raman. I would have said, fuck it, then that's what it is. Even then, you
Right.
never know. But I'm saying, like, this is such a strange situation that they've been allowed to do their elections this way, and that there's no recourse. You can't challenge them. You can't check it. You can't ask anything. You can't do anything. And that doesn't seem right to me. If nothing else, it seems fishy, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. I don't have all the votes. Is there any recourse, or is there anything special Pratt can do?
Absolutely nothing that
No.
anyone can do, because they can come in, like, you can have people in California that can demand some kind of recount, demand something like that, and it will get completely shut down. And they have ways that basically the local government can just say no. There's absolutely no responsibility for them to actually prove that these counts are legit. They have all sorts of other things set up for, like, how signatures are verified and stuff like that, where basically they don't have to prove anything about that, right? And in fact, from my understanding, is some of this stuff, like the signature verification, is destroyed.
Oh yeah, it's completely rigged, but
It's destroyed after the fact, so that no one can verify it. Just the people who got it say, nope, signature looked good on the envelope, and then they destroy the envelope, and then it's done. And so there's that. But then also, yeah, as you said, they have set up rules for. There's laws now set up in California that say we don't allow third-party audits of any election in our state. So they can be as crooked as they want. They can print ballots. They can do all sorts of stuff, count signatures, deny stuff. They can see a Pratt, a vote for Pratt, and say, "Oh, sorry, signature doesn't match," and just throw it in the trash. They don't. There's absolutely no verification whatsoever. It is insanely crooked. And they know it. They've set it up that way. It is intentional.
Price, you said you weren't there. There's somebody who was there. Check your DMs. There's a short video. Nick Shirley actually went to the houses of registered voters.
I saw some of his videos and his investigation. I don't want to play certain videos now for whatever reasons, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
It seems very odd. It seems. I'll put it this one. I'll tell you in a second. I just want to do this super chat. Theme song of 2026 Hollywood blockbusters. Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. Yep. Except for those smaller indie ones, which some of them are really decent. But what I'll say to you is this, Ista, and I said this. Forget about California. I can say this about a different state, or even a few different states. When they did the mail-in initially, when there was the coup, and they did the mail-in, and they wanted people to, when it was like Trump and Biden or whatever it is, and they did the mail-in. I knew people that got, and this isn't something that I need like Nick Shirley to go find a mailbox or anything like that. I knew people that got multiple ballots to their home, including for people that didn't live there. In some cases, it was people that weren't alive. There were, and this isn't something I read about in some, obscure publication. I'm telling you, I know people that this happened to them. So, and I don't talk to a ton of people in the day to day. So if I know like a handful of people, oh, I got a few here, I got a few there, and that happened to me like a number of times in those elections. Think of the possibility of how many ballots in all these places with mail-in just go to a bunch of different people and at different houses. And the thing is, at the end, if let's say there's people that actually know how to manipulate this, I'm not saying that they're manipulating. We don't know that. I'm speculating. But let's just say that there's people that have learned also how this whole thing works and have somehow gamed the system to continue to get a lot of these ballots. It becomes a very dangerous situation. In addition to what Professor said, that they can also make all these kind of decisions. Signature does match, signature doesn't match. This is just a recipe for disaster. And the fact that they're able to get away with like this type of election there is outrageous. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I'll just say this. I don't care if they have a legitimate election, and at the end of it, if like 90% of the people really voted for Bass and it was legit, that's their mayor. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. If that's what they want, they can get her their mayor. But I'm not sure that they're all voting for her. You know what I mean? Like, now I really don't know.
Well, See, the one thing we do have is math, like for that presidential election. If you look at the statistics, the increase in voter turnout, the discrepancy between the bellwethers that have always, predicted or correlated with elections. And then we have one election where none of the math makes any sense. And then it goes back to normal. That's the thing. It's not proof per se, but, we run our entire society on math that says this is actually the case. And when that same math says this is statistically impossible, you wouldn't build a bridge or design a power plant or, make roads using that same kind of math. And there's nothing you can really do about it, which is frustrating. Because California has been a one-party state for 20 years. They made sure every law, every regulation, every procedure is skewed toward them, but they don't even try to hide it. Remember when Gavin Newsom came out and said, we have a break glass scenario. Don't worry.
Yep.
You will
we
never have Republicans.
We have levers we can pull. Don't worry.
Yeah. So
and it's like, we have
hide it.
We have ways of rigging the system. We can take care of it. Don't worry. Yeah. It's absurd. Yeah.
And the left is so brainwashed. They actually think that was democracy means they win. Anything else is fascism.
Well, that's
even if they don't get the majority of the vote.
You just remember anytime you hear somebody talking about saving our democracy, protecting our democracy, you have to remind yourself, we don't live in a democracy. Our country is a constitutional republic. What they're talking about is not democracy. They are talking about Democrat power. Anytime you hear any one of them saying, we got to save our democracy, we need to protect our democracy, we got to fight for democracy. No, what they're saying is we need to protect democratic power. We have to fight for democratic power. We have to maintain our democratic power. That's what they are talking about.
I can only tell you my
nothing
position.
to do.
I can only tell you my position. I will accept anything, like when it comes to election, hoping that it's legitimate and all that. But this mail-in stuff in general, if it's in LA or if it's in any other thing, I don't care what state, if it's throughout the country, if it's for like general elections for president, for governor, for whatever it is. I don't like this weird mail-in thing. Why in the whole world nobody uses this except for these weird places in the U.S. that always there's something seemingly fishy going on. They insist on doing this stupid mail-in thing. There should be no mail-in. Mail-in. The only mail-in that they should have is this: if you're a soldier serving in the United States Army and you're stationed abroad, they do something where they get your vote in advance, not after the election, in advance. And on the day of the election, they already have your vote and things like that. With the exception, it has to be like,
well, that's how absentee ballots used to be like that. You had to get them in 2 weeks prior to the election.
That's what we need. We need the thing in advance, and it should be only people that really have a reason for not being here, not being able to vote. Aside from that, nothing. You didn't show up. You didn't show your ID. You didn't vote. You don't get to vote. That's it. All this, but what about their feelings? There is no feelings,
states control.
Not to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger, what did he say? Like, fuck their feelings or whatever.
He's like, fuck
there is no feelings. Just fucking go vote. I go vote. When I want to vote in something, I show up and I show my ID and I stand in the stupid place online and I press those buttons and do whatever. Who knows what happens after I press them, but that's a different story. At least I did my thing. What do you mean you can mail it a month later? Fuck you.
Yeah, but the states are in charge of the election, and there's no way for anybody to get a foothold in a Democratic-controlled state like California. So there's nobody that can force them to fix it, is the problem. I mean, we can fix ours here. I think ours is much more solid, but it's not like the federal government can intervene. Constitutionally, the states have a right to run their own elections. How about, and I'm gonna use proper language here. You know how a certain party likes to call everybody else Yahtzees?
Mm-hmm.
But now in Maine, they have an actual Yahtzee by the name of Graham Plattner running for the Senate as a Democrat. And he has this giant Yahtzee tattoo on his chest that he got in Europe. But, democracy, right? Because he's running with a D in front of his name. They're all getting around and backing him. Can you imagine if a Republican candidate
Yeah. Yeah. It would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. And you have, this is Politico. So a fairly left wing, Democrat establishment begrudgingly moves to embrace Graham Plattner because, yes, he won the primary there. They are not happy about this.
Yeah. Do you have a picture of the tattoo?
I don't have a picture of the tattoo with me right now, but yeah, it's a Totenkopf it's a skull and crossbones, but it's a very specific skull and crossbone design. If you ever see the sketch where the Yahtzee is talking to the other Yahtzee and says, Are we the baddies?
Are we the baddies? Yeah.
He is wearing a hat with the Totenkopf on it, the which was the symbol for the SS specifically. Well, we won't have to get into that, but anyway, bad guys, very, very bad guys, and it's historically well known what that symbol is about.
Yeah, you can't even legally get that in most places in Europe. They won't even do it. It's the Totenkopf.
Yeah,
and
Totenkopf.
You have to go to some like underground, illicit tattoo parlor in secret in the middle of the night to even do that. So he's saying, I didn't know it was bad. You have to intentionally go to a place that does bad things to get this thing. But does that mean they can't call us Yahtzees anymore?
Oh, no, they're free. They're absolutely free to do that. You kidding?
So we're Maine senators now. Cool.
Yeah. It is an absolute joke. Yeah, that he's going to be their candidate now. The attacks are going to come fast. They're going to come hard, and they're going to keep coming. And I guarantee you that with all the stuff that has come out already about this guy, you wait for the November drop. There's going to be something absolutely nuclear is going to drop about this guy.
Yeah, he's a huge fan of Adobe, particularly their PDF format. He's also been known to, let's just say, think of a scandal and the guy's already wearing it. I don't.
On suspicious social media networks where people like to use it to prey on people who are underage.
Yeah,
he's all sorts of other just bizarro,
allegedly
stuff. No, he's not allegedly. He is on that social network. It's been proven he's on that social network. But yes, that social network has been used by others to prey on those who are underage. This is also well known.
Yeah. So not only does he like PDFs, he likes the latest version of the PDFs.
He likes to keep those up to date. What I was going to show here goes back to the previous conversation we were talking about here. We were talking about what's in California. This was just yesterday. Trump says voter fraud should land people in prison. This is Gavin Newsom, by the way. Agreed. Let's start with politicians spreading election lies with the goal of illegally interfering with counting ballots. In California, I just signed a law that makes that punishable by up to 3 years behind bars. More to come. FAFO, Donald.
Read the Shirley comment.
So Nick Shirley, who made a comment on this directly. You literally signed SB 73 before the LA mayoral election. This law prohibits unauthorized access, disruption, modification, or seizure of voter rolls, voter lists, or certified voting technology by law enforcement, including federal agents, without a court order or specific state election law investigation. So saying that that federal groups or other groups cannot, even if they have a something signed by a federal judge, according to this law, would not be able to enter and do any kind of audits of these election things without a state investigation being in place, which is ridiculous.
And they will never initiate a state one because they are the state.
Exactly. So it says you're actively making laws, making it harder for there to be election integrity. Time to take down the California Communist Party. Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. So, Price, I get you don't want to play the Shirley video. Can we describe it, or do you not want to do that either?
It's fine. I I have my reasons. Of course, on Rumble, which if you're watching through the app, when you should subscribe, I'm always happy with the free speech on Rumble. But because we're on a few different platforms, I'm more careful these days. I understand what you're saying. I've seen videos like that of Nick Shirley doing it. I understand exactly what you mean, but it doesn't matter now. And I don't want to play more
Okay.
videos or anything.
Yeah.
But I think we're already good to sort of wrap up because it's already 3 something. And if you have like a list of rumblers, then I can say goodbye to them.
A list of rumblers. I will say one other thing. At the very least, today we did get one bit of good news. Justice was rightly served in Texas.
Sort of.
Well, yeah.
Better than I expected.
Perhaps the sentence was not what many people might have hoped for, but at the very least, a young man did not get away with committing a very grievous act and getting to walk away with it. Next come the civil suits against his family.
Yeah,
those are going to be fun.
People are still sending them tons of money. I don't understand what's going on.
It is absolutely insane that people have been talking about saying, "Oh, he had a terrible lawyer. That's the reason he lost. Oh, I can't believe he's so incompetent." You're literally talking about a family that was sent hundreds of thousands of dollars and decided to spend it on their house and cars and all sorts of other stuff. And then get a public defender for their son facing a murder charge.
That was so bizarre.
This is insanity. But people are still sending them money like crazy, whatever. Well, they're going to need it because there's going to be a civil suit and they're going to lose those hundreds of millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
In that civil suit.
Jill, by the way, she wrote, "It was good to hear you, Price Professor."
Yeah.
I did send you an invite.
Oh,
but
she said she was just listening in tonight.
Oh, okay.
She says in her
Yeah,
post,
thanks, Jill.
Yeah. Always love seeing Joe around.
Yeah, I think the prosecution, everybody was very careful that kept things transparent, above board. Hopefully there'll be no they're going to challenge it, of course, but
they're going to try for it. They're going to try for an appeal, but I think it was fascinating to see what came from the defense, what came from the prosecution, and how that all played out. And people have been arguing about it. Why did they not do this? Why didn't they put him on the stand? Whatever. Well, first of all, they didn't put him on the stand because they know that the prosecution would have torn him to pieces because he's lying through his teeth. They know he would have shredded him if he had gotten on the stand, and they knew they had an open and shut case. That's why there was never a plea deal given. They knew what they had. There was nothing. And of course you get all the race baiters that are out there.
Right. I don't like all these people. Who was it? I think Isaac Hayes' grandson or something like that. He was whining about it today. It's like, dude, shut up. I mean, first of all, this is just my 2 cents here. Okay. You can argue, you can say whatever you want. I don't even care if it's 2 students, let's say, that were bickering about something. I think everybody at school bickered with some other student about something. That doesn't mean that ends with one of them, being deleted. You know what I mean? Like, that's first of all. The other thing is that it seems like in this case, that guy who actually did the bad thing was the one that was the aggressor in all of it. So if, to begin with, so I don't even know. I don't know why. I hate that, I hate that we can't just look at something honestly and say, well, this is bad and that's it. And that people still want to hold on to some strange narratives or whatever. I don't care. I don't care if it's like a white person or anything else, or whoever it was that would have been the person doing the bad thing. That is the person that did the bad thing. I don't care what his background is. I don't care what his skin color is. If it was white or black or whoever it was, if somebody does something bad, we should all be able to acknowledge that thing is bad. And the fact that now we're trying to pretend that's good, no, not us, but some people are, that's annoying. And I saw some other people, well, what about like Rittenhouse? I saw some people were saying that.
Those are not even equivalent.
Not even close.
Not even close. Not the same thing at all. Not to mention that although the media tried to make all these efforts to make it seem like he was trying to delete or deleting diverse people. No, the people that he was doing that were attacking him and not diverse. So
yeah, they were white. Like, can you
right, that's what
imagine
I'm
if,
saying.
yeah, but the difference is Kyle Rittenhouse's testimony matched his deposition that matched the video evidence. They could never put Carmelo Anthony on the stand because his deposition is
That didn't
clearly
match,
different than the evidence they have. So he could never testify. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is just, it's a bizarre thing, and unfortunately not only does he seem like not a good guy, the way his family acted gives the feeling, well, now you kind of know what his family like is as well, if you know what I'm saying, allegedly. But let me just say goodbye to all the people that Professor sent me the list. Joe Higachi, Gaming Stuff, Double R Star, Reachum 842, Dude Bro Seth 420, Folsom Lockdown, God Bless 5697, Z3Fius, Angelo DD, Elizabeth Quince, Kivo 1961. Thank you for the $5 Rumble rant. Anti-Derivative Jill was a friend of the channel. Kate Burton 1 is to Phobos. And then you can read in the meantime the YouTube one.
Over on YouTube, Jackass G2S, Spooky Mulder, Echo 32, Echo 7, The Real Head Case, Piku, Adrian Veit, Badfoot, Corbin Griner, Kira Runte. I feel like I'm ruining that one. Trev Toon Art, I Lord Corey, Tim Hayes, Deacon Batista, Lewis Berry, Jonathan Conroy, Yitis, Scottish Celts, Jason Love Doctor Who, Georges Irex, Mr. Tech Rat, Fishbulb, Marla Sharondoff, Jawa Trader Utini, Lasher, Angry Sparrow, Caleb Levine, Kuna Ritchie, Captain Palsy, Stephen Mack, Putin, Tomahawk 511, Istphobos, Kodo Rob, Big Sur River, 44 Magnum Norse, Jason Webster, and The Dead Man. So thank you so much.
But before
and of
we
course,
go, I want to try to do a raid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How do I do that?
Raid over on what's the link?
Okay, one second.
Do you know where you're going?
Is it /raid, Professor?
/.
/raid.
/raid.
/raid space and then your URL.
Okay. Confirm raid. I think I did it.
There you go. Head to Lo-Fi Girl. Very nice.
All right. Well, I think that we've had a great night, and also, hey, Marla, nice to see you here. And
yep. And real quick, just thanks again to Deadman, 44 Magnum Norse, and Jason Webster for your super chats over on YouTube tonight. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you all have a great night. Born to Be Down says, thanks for another great stream, guys. Have a great night. Thank you. Thank you to our host here. First of all, to the co-host, Professor Artoo. Thank you for hanging out with me. And for our VIP guest, Phobos.
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right. So I guess we'll
the Lego legal analyst is to.
Well, you see, most of the time, like on these kind of CNNs and whatever, you have all these like financial experts. The Night Owl is the only place where like a special correspondent joins the stream to talk to us about like some Lego thing on consignment. Talking about it like it's you would have thought with the drama that you brought to it that it was like minimum international crisis,
Well, that's how this thing's gone viral. It's unbelievable. Millions of views. Moist Critical's covered it. Asmongold's covered it. They got 2 million views in a day.
Well, that's good to know. I'll look
insane.
into this whole Lego thing. Thank you for explaining it to me.
Next, check out the Scott Pelley New York Times article where he claims to have been in combat in Afghanistan.
I missed that one, but
the whole thing with Scott Pelley, man.
Give me a few minutes just before we head out. Like, just do you want to give it a 1 minute headline?
So Scott Pelley, 60 Minutes, right?
He left, right?
No,
Well,
he
he
got
was
fired.
he was canned. He was fired.
Oh, sorry, he made problems. So he was fired
because he was arguing with their new editorial chief Barry Weiss. They going back and forth over stuff, and basically said this you're gutting this thing, and basically Barry and some of the other people were saying, why do you think anyone trusts you, right? They went back and forth, and basically like he has no clue at all as to how journalism is seen now, how little it is trusted, and that's been one of the focuses. I'm not going to say Barry Weiss has done everything right, but one of her focuses in coming in is saying like we need to rebuild trust with our audience, and we need to make sure that we are not being seen as being biased. We need to eliminate that as much as possible. Obviously, bias is going to exist in everywhere, always has, but we hold ourselves to standards to try and make sure that we're being as impartial as possible when reporting the news. And I mean the Scott, like, he doesn't even recognize the fact that he's like, you can go to a commencement speech that he gave not a month ago where he's talking about all sorts of stuff about how journalists have journalists, it's important that we make sure that we are not that we're biased, and fight back against all of the oppression and stuff like that. It's like this is the problem, Scott. You don't understand.
Oh, but the best is, so he did a softball New York Times interview. He starts this fake crying, and he talks about being in a foxhole in the desert filling up with water and bullets whizzing by as he's taking sniper fire, heroically bringing people the news. Like, that never happened. That doesn't happen. They're like, and he's basically saying, it's stolen valor. He's basically comparing himself to combat troops and firefighters, and he's like, people just don't appreciate journalists. I was neck deep in the muck in Vietnam taking fire from Charlie, and nobody cares. Like, it's just like he's outrageous lie. It was like Hillary and the Bosnia thing. It's so easily debunked
and completely tone deaf. So it's wild.
On that positive note, we will sign off so we can complete the raid. But thank you all for hanging out, and thank you for updating us also about the Scott Pelley situation. We can continue possibly to talk about it if it's still of interest in a few days. If not, we'll talk about other stuff. And every week, Tuesday and Thursday, the Night Owl, 11:45 p.m. Eastern. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Good night, everyone.